it's Raz and myself
Woohoo!
playing Stardew Valley 1.6 co-op for the first time.
It's gonna be great. Did I have to perform emergency surgery on my Stardew while we were in the ads? Yes. Yes, I did. But we're good now.
What happened?
My Smappy is messed up, and I think my mod thing, so I had to bypass it. I was like Googling how to launch. Well, first I was like, how do I delete Smappy? And it was
Yeah,
like, good
I
luck.
had to do the same thing earlier today. I deleted Smappy on this streaming computer and then downloaded it, and that kind of fixed the issue. But yeah, I guess things are. I guess the updates have like caused Smappy a little bit of concern.
Yeah.
I like how I'm like sitting next to you at your desk on your stream.
Yeah. You're my little buddy. All right. Let me remember how to do this co-op stuff. Also, I gave you a shout out. Yeah, because apparently on mobile, like, it doesn't let you click your. I have your name linked in the title, but apparently on mobile, rude. Twitch. It's the year 2024. Come on, let's get our stuff. But welcome in, everybody. Hope you're doing well.
Yeah, welcome everyone.
Let's see. Host. New farm. Oh, let's see. Starting I think you say one starting cabin. Do we want our money to be shared? Do we want separate money?
Up to you.
I don't.
Oh,
I don't care.
Yeah. Up to you. Also, I have a first-time chatter, Iris. Hello. Yes, I am a snake. Thank you for saying I'm cute. I appreciate it. Thank you.
What should we name our farm?
Oh, Raz could be a little bit louder. How do I increase your volume on this?
If you're in Discord, I think if you right-click my name, there should be a... Where is it? There should be a user volume slider that you can make me louder.
In the Discord call.
Yeah. That's the easiest way.
Your name. All right. Iris, how's this? Does Raz sound better now?
Woohoo! Do I sound better? Am I louder?
I could also, you know what? I'm gonna just adjust my audio a little bit too, so it's just a little bit quieter. But I think this should be a little bit better.
Perfect. Woohoo! I'm trying to make myself as quickly as humanly possible. I forgot that we have to make characters every time. What? Okay. Is this what my hair is? I always struggle to click the blonde, and then I end up having green hair, and I look like when I was a child, like going to the pool and it getting messed up by chlorine every year. All right. This is fine. Do you know how is it in community center bundles? We want to be remixed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then do we want everything else to be normal?
Up to you. I think there's only like one other thing you can remix, right? Is it like the caves?
It's mine reward. Should we do that? Should we go crazy?
Oh my gosh. So, hold on a second. Someone says that you sound muted now. Oh no.
Sound quieter?
Oh, wait. Okay, how about like this?
Yeah, what about
better?
Now? Is it better? Can you hear me?
Is it better? I think the issue is the music is too loud on my end here. How about this? Better?
Is it better now?
Yeah. So yeah, I had to fudge around with the audio a little bit, but there you go.
Hooray. Also, Locke, I see you gave me a hydrate. I'm sorry I didn't do it. Everyone take a sip.
Oh, I'm taking a sip on my end.
Good. Do you have a farm name preference? Should we combine our names in some way?
Yeah. How about Razius?
Oh, I love it. I love it. Razius Farm. Perfect.
Yeah.
Should we skip the intro, or do you want to?
Oh yeah, I'd be happy to skip the intro. How does this work for me? Am I supposed to co-op load in right now?
I think. hold on. Let me go through here. Let me check that I clicked the Meadowlands Farm. And then I think you should get a code.
Okay.
I should be able to give you a code.
Okay.
So let me see.
Yeah.
Let me see what it does. You are now hosting a multiplayer game. Okay. Oh, okay. Hold on. I'm gonna send it to you on Discord.
Okay. I'm on the lookout on Discord.
Oh, God. Wait. Where did my chat go? How do I find that again? Wait.
Oh, I see that it says you're typing.
I know I was typing. Wait. Wait, where's the dang?
Oh, I should also, I'm gonna cover the invite code. Whoops, that's you. That's not me. Hold on. I'll move myself.
Oh, I gotta
make myself big.
What a dummy.
There we go.
Okay, there's the invite code. I was like, how do I get this invite code? How do I get this in here? Okay. I'm a professional.
Okay, I'm covering the invite code with my snake body. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
And then Oh,
I'm connecting.
You're connecting? Okay, good.
I'm connecting.
Okay.
I'm connecting. Okay.
I'll swap.
There we go. Let me shrink back to my usual size. I'll stand here next to you.
Okay, good. I'm ready. Also, Minimi, welcome in. Welcome in. Are you in?
Okay.
Unnamed
I
farm?
am now in. I need to make my name. I'm just gonna randomize myself until I get some. Yeah, close enough. Okay, and then I'll put my name in as Kias. What's my favorite thing? Costco. Didn't even need to.
Didn't even need to think about it.
Oh, I'm awake. I'm alive. Okay. What is this? I got hay.
Me too. Okay.
There's hay.
Where's our chickens? Because they gave us chickens at this place.
They did give us chickens. We're in the Meadowlands Farms, by the way. Raz is hosting.
Yeah. Okay, where's our chickens? I hear them. Oh, there they are.
Okay. What are the... Ooh. Oh, I see you. Hi.
Hi. Cute. Wait, I like your hair. What the heck?
Oh, thank you. This is like literally the second randomized body.
But I love it. That's actually a nice color. What the heck?
Yeah.
It turned out well.
Thank you. Oh, here. Should we release the chickens?
Yes.
Go in?
Yes.
I see the chickens.
What are their names?
I'll look at the yellow one.
Viola?
Wait. Piccolo. Is this a reference to a...
It must be to Dragon Ball, right? Piccolo.
Yeah,
or actually no. There's might not be a viola. These are both instruments. Viola and piccolo.
Okay. Viola, piccolo. Okay, so we will have to stick with the instrument theme, I guess.
Yes.
I kind of like that though. That's really cute.
We've been
really
given the theme for our chickens,
just
at least.
Be on theme. Yeah.
Perfect.
Just clean up the little area for them so that they have.
Part of me, I don't know why, like I might have made this up, but as a kid, I always got worried that if you hit your animals with a scythe in like the Harvest Moon games that you would injure them or kill them. So now I like live in fear of using my tools near my animals in games, even though like I might have made that up. I might have read that on some forum and had that, like people say fake things on forums all the time. I mean, I believed all sorts of stuff.
In this pen or cut it? Leave it?
They can have some shade,
Yeah. Well, that's true. Very important for little chickens.
I guess it might become an issue when we get to summer and lightning starts striking trees. But I guess they will be outside. It'll be fine.
Does the lightning strike the trees?
It strikes near them, I thought. It can strike them down.
I did not know that. So Raz, you know a lot about farming sims. I feel like I have only started playing farming sims within the past 2 years, like Stardew Valley. I think I started 2 years ago. So I haven't played through the whole thing. I don't really know it as well.
Well, it's been a long time since I've played through. So there's many secrets in Stardew specifically, but I feel like the gist of farming sims is just farm. And do it at your own pace. I mean, some of them have endings where you're supposed to get to the end, and then some of them are like, oh, here's your score, now go away, make a new save, like Harvest Moon SNES. But I think modern game devs find that cruel, so they don't do
Yeah.
that to us anymore.
Yeah, after putting in like hours of your life
Yeah.
into building the perfect farm.
The worst thing is in Harvest Moon SNES, it gives you a score, and the score
Hmm.
can be like you suck at farming, and then the game ends, like your save file's gone, like that's it. You can't.
What?
Yeah. So you could spend like hundreds of hours playing. I mean, you can't spend hundreds. I think it's probably like 30 to 50 for Harvest Moon SNES, but still, you spend, let's say, 50 hours. You get to the
Hmm.
end, and then your score is like, wow, you sucked at this. And
Wow.
you get the bad ending cinematics,
Yeah.
and then it's like, better luck next time.
And,
That's
and
it.
and you know, it's a game that's marketed at children. I feel like that would like if you receive that as a child, let
Oh,
alone an adult, you know, it's
yeah.
already like heartbreaking as an adult, but like as a child, I think you would just be like traumatized, right?
Yeah, you can't. You're not like resilient enough to weather that storm, I think, as a kid. I wasn't. I'm glad I didn't play SNES as a child. I don't think the perfectionist in me would have died, would have just perished. Also,
You would have had a nightmare time there.
yeah, yeah. Tofu says, people lie on forums. What does the world come to? I know. Isn't that so cruel? People
Mm,
making up lies and then putting them on the forums, and we're supposed to know that.
mm.
Like, how was I supposed to know that people were, I don't know, making up conspiracy theories about what was in the shed on your property in Harvest Moon: A Wonderful Life? People told me on the forums, people would say that you could there's a chihuahua in Harvest Moon: A
Yeah.
Wonderful Life, and people said if you like befriended Carter enough or whatever, he would give you the chihuahua, and I believed that. So I like went out of my way to like be friends with that man, and every day I was like, will today be the day that I get the chihuahua? It was just fake. It was just not real. Some adult on the forums just preying on us kids,
Cruelty.
watching us laughing, being like, look at these idiots. They think they know what they're up to. Okay, I'm gonna make a quick uh
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna make a quick chest over here by our chickens so we can store all of our hay and stuff for them
Okay. Oh,
ahead of
that's a good idea.
ahead of time. We should probably get a silo at some point so we don't have to spend money
Yeah.
on their hay. Um
Silos take like 10 clay, right? And then and you
yeah,
also need copper for that too. So
we'll have to go to the mines.
yeah, we can go to the mines. We can also I don't actually in beginning game it's so hard to get money, but I was gonna say like, you know, we could also just buy the copper,
True.
but it would take so much copper and it's so expensive early game.
It would take a good bit. I have faith though. We could
Yeah.
do it if we put our minds to it. Nothing can stop us. Let's be real.
Yeah. Oh, one of my viewers just said that their chickens were named Salt and Pepper. That's so cute.
That's so cute. So they got the condiments run, or like
Yeah.
the table stuff, I guess. Tableware.
Yeah. What
Cute.
did other people get? Oh, I'm already out of energy, so I'm just gonna limit
Wander.
myself to scything
I think that's great.
and crafting. Okay. But we actually got a lot cleared out.
We did. We
Um
did.
there's like an entire like arbor area, I guess, in zone 2 of this farm.
Oh,
I'm applying the permaculture idea of zones.
I love it. I love it. Very important.
Mhm.
Honestly wish that we had more games that did permaculture.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
It's an easy way to differentiate yourself,
Uh-huh.
and nobody does it. And I'm like, guys, this is lame. Please.
Mhm. So where did you put the chest? Did you put it inside the
I put it in there, yeah, in their little pen next to the coop.
Okay, let me go put my stuff in there. And put my hay.
Perfect.
There we go. Okay, I see it now. All right.
So part of
I
what
really
we
like how cute the pen is. The little
Yes.
can run.
I did see a cute mod for the coops though. I was eyeing. it added a little like chicken wire run to the outside of it. And it's not, I don't think the chickens can go in it, but it's just like aesthetically pleasing. It looks nice.
I
Yeah.
see. I haven't even looked at the mods for 1.6 yet. That sounds awesome. That's so cute.
Yeah, if you go on Twitter, the people are
Mhm.
posting like the most aesthetic farms right now. So it's a
Mm,
good, I was mod spotting on Twitter.
yeah. And I guess we're both playing vanilla version for this run.
Yes.
Probably for the best because I heard that like the Stardew Valley Extended works with this mod perfectly, so it's like still running perfectly fine. But some of the stuff that you see in this game, because I am playing off stream, like
Yeah.
I am playing off stream, is just really enjoyable to discover. So I'm looking forward to discovering it with you and talking about what we
Yeah.
find.
Yes. I think so. This is like maybe a little bit controversial.
Mm-mm-mm.
Stardew girlies don't come for me, but
Mhm.
I think when a game has a big new patch like this or an
Mhm.
expansion, I think it's best to play it on vanilla, like turn off your
Mhm.
mods or make a
Yep.
new save or something because I don't know, you just get to see so much cool stuff and you might miss things if they're like patched over or something, like some of the
Yeah.
mods remove things and, you know, maybe you wanted to, I don't know, see things for the first time. So I always recommend that because then I feel like you get the full experience at least once.
Okay, it's 8:20. You know what I might do? I have like 10 mixed seeds for
Yeah.
tomorrow. I might make a chest right in front of my cabin or right between our two cabins actually,
Yeah.
right by this tree. Um and do you want to just like store seeds and like other miscellaneous things in it? We can just
Yeah.
share it.
Yeah, we could
Okay,
put
let
like
me
all of our early game mats and stuff in there, and then
yeah.
as we like get more stuff,
Mhm.
we can make more chests and be organized.
Yeah. I'm heading into town so I can go bother people at the saloon.
Yes, same. I've been harassing. Of course, everyone's giving me the classic. We largely hate you, you know. It's like, okay, thanks.
We don't like strangers around here.
Exactly. We don't like strangers around these parts. Like, okay, well, this is why your town's dying. Okay. You
No,
need
I've actually found so like I've Stardew Valleyed in real life, and I've moved to like I'm not far from a city, but I'm living in a smaller community. Like it's more on the outskirts of a city, and like even though the city slash town is actually quite small, people are really nice and they're like very curious. They just like have a lot of
Yes.
questions.
Yes. I think largely I live in a weird space where I feel like a lot of my neighbors
Mhm.
they're all very hands off. They don't even
Mm,
interact with each other, so they don't interact with us that much, but they'll say hi if you're like outside.
yeah.
But they're very I think that also has to do with where I live. I think people in New England in general are very
Yeah.
like, let's not talk to each other.
That it's true. It is true. It's very true. I've lived in a bunch of different places in the States, mostly on the East Coast, I have to say.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's definitely true. People around my parts, I have a lot of like older friends in my neighborhood because I basically moved somewhere where like I kind of knew like one family in the area
Yeah.
and they knew the person who owned the farmhouse that I'm living in before I moved in. Um
Oh.
yeah, so we have this connection. And so like I kind of know this place through them. And they're like, you probably don't have Facebook. You've probably phased out of that part of your life as a younger person. But there's like a pretty active Facebook group
Mhm.
uh for our neighborhood and they constantly talk about what everyone else is doing and planting and like up to. And I was like, "Oh, thank goodness I'm not." And I promise I'm coming to bed. Hold on.
No,
I'm
no, you
coming.
can take your time. I don't care. I'm just in
Mhm,
bed. No, I have okay, so I live in a really small town and we do have a
mhm.
Facebook group, but it
For the
is
town?
yeah. and it's
Oh.
so gossipy. Like, but so one of my coworkers lives in my town too, and she's
Mhm.
always, because I never check the group, and she's always giving me like the gossip from the group. She'll be like, "Oh, so and so like busted their water pipe and everyone's mad at them," or like so and so's kid was like shooting their gun at 11:30 at night the other night. And she always tells me all the wild stuff
Oh,
happening.
local juicy
The
gossip.
local gossip, yeah. We get all the deets from her because I don't really want to be in that group. I like
No.
appreciate the vibe, but they're too gossipy. I just don't need
Yep.
that in my life.
Yep.
We had a really
Yeah.
gossipy HOA when we lived in the city.
Oh my
In
gosh.
our
I
like
cannot. I
condo
cannot do
crew.
HOAs.
Yeah, it
Mm-mm-mm.
was horrible. So, I was like, I'm good. I'm fine without that.
I had a friend who, yeah, who like moved somewhere. She bought a house in a neighborhood with an HOA, and they made her life terrible. Like they would just
Yeah.
harass her regularly to be like, the paint colors you've selected are against the taste of the neighborhood. And it's like literally one person dictating everything.
Yep.
It's like classic
Yep.
TV villain
Yeah.
HOA behavior. I'm
Yeah.
gonna make a little 9x9 here and plant like just like a little, sorry, 3x3, not 9x9. Nine
Yeah.
is the number of squares. I'm gonna make a little square here and plant the mixed seeds that we have.
That sounds perfect. Yeah, I don't recommend HOAs in general
Yeah.
because like you can get a good HOA, but that's rare and it depends who's like the head of
Mm-hmm.
it. So someone
Mm-hmm.
else could just get voted in and be a nightmare. So
Yeah.
even if you had one like good experience, it doesn't mean it'll stay. It's also wild that they're legal like that, like that they can legally harass you like that,
Mm-hmm.
but they can.
They can. Say hi to one of the chickens. Did we lose a chicken? I can't find the other chicken. Hold on. Did it go outside?
Let me see.
Oh no, they're just stacked on top of each other and like
Oh,
glitching out. Weird. Interesting. Hello, other chicken.
they've become
Oh, did you take
one.
a look? You can now see how many if whether you've pet your chickens or not today.
Wait, how can I see that?
It's if you do escape or whatever to get into like the crafting menu under animals.
Oh, that's so
uh,
handy.
I know, it's so cute. And then if you look at your skill, you can go to the tab that says skills that looks like your face picture,
Yeah,
and you can see what level you are for everything.
handy.
Yeah.
But the animals, that's game changing.
Yeah.
Wow, concerned ape.
Yeah.
What a king move.
Yeah. Very kingly move. Very
Right?
kingly move.
Well, it's nice because then, like, if you just get so many animals, it gets to a point where
Mhm.
you're like, I don't know who I pet, and then you have to touch all of them,
Yep.
and they don't necessarily want you to.
No, I think they don't mind. It's just they're just like, but why are we doing this again?
Yeah, they're like, okay, but, but. So I always feel
Hmm.
bad. I'm like, I'm sorry. I know you're trying to like eat and graze and live your best life, and I'm interrupting.
Yeah. Man, Meadowlands farm is so big.
It's
I haven't even
huge.
gone to like I've only seen like the north and south of our cabin area, but it's
It's
like huge as a space.
yeah, it's massive. It's actually shocking how big it is.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, and today is like the second day, so we can go get our fishing rods too. I might head out that way as soon as I use up all my energy.
Yeah, I'm doing a
I
quick.
love clearing out the first few days.
Yeah, it's very therapeutic to just
It
be
is.
like clearing and vibing.
Yeah. Also, you get all the free seeds.
True.
Holy cow, there is so much space. I found the exit out into um
The South, and it's
is it
like a
Marnie's?
mile
Yeah.
away.
Yeah, it's like it's so far away. So far away.
Yeah.
Oh, Lee. Okay. Yeah, I'm finding the corners. It's like I'm trying to do a puzzle, like you try and do all the edges and corners
Mm-hmm.
first.
Map it all out that way.
Yeah. It's kind of neat. There's just so much stuff when you start out in the farm. There's just like a million trees.
Yeah. Yeah. It's heavily wooded.
Yeah, because Meadowlands is it's better for raising animals, right? So
yeah, the like
actual farmland is rather
bluegrass
restricted.
is like tastier for animals or something.
Mm.
They like it
Does
more.
it like actually make a pertinent or visible difference?
That seems to be what the tooltip says. Like when you select, like it seemed to be that it was supposed to be a noticeable difference. So I'm not sure if it like increases heart level or something. So, or maybe it just makes more of it. Like maybe it makes more hay when you cut it.
Cut it? We'll have to test that out.
We will.
Okay. Well, oh, and here's the yeah, here's the greenhouse.
Oh, I triggered the Willy cutscene. I'm not sure if you got it though.
No. I
Okay,
don't
good.
get. I think we get them separate.
Okay, good.
Okay, I've just used up all my energy for the day, so I'm gonna go head over to that general direction. I'll see you around there.
Yeah.
And drop off some of my resources.
Perfect. Where is Elliot? I need to meet our starving artist friend. There you are.
Yeah. Hardest people to meet in game, like Elliot, Sebastian, because he never comes out of his room.
Yeah. Sebastian's hard. I'm trying to think. Some of the others have just like weird schedules, so unless you know where they're gonna be.
Yeah, there's definitely and I'll just say, like, I'm not a min-maxer with the game, so I usually don't like find things super easily, quickly. Oh, here's Elliot. He lives in a little cabin by the beach. It's a pleasure to meet you. It's a pleasure to meet you as well, Elliot. Oh, here's Willy.
Actually, let's see. Yeah, I forgot. I have so little space. Let me go drop off my shit. I wanted to fish so we can make money.
Yeah, that's the prime money maker.
If you can survive the minigame. The hell.
I've gotten so good at it.
That's good.
Yeah, I used to have to like stick on that training rod forever.
Yeah.
But now I can actually like just start off with the bamboo rod, no problem. Bamboo pole.
That's definitely like the initial hurdle, I think, for a lot of people is like the combat's just clunky anyway, but like the fishing, they're like, oh my god, the first nemesis of this game is the fishing minigame.
Oh, hi, Oracle. Yeah, the fishing game, the first time I ever played Stardew Valley, which was again about like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I just didn't do any of the fishing stuff because I got so frustrated. I like didn't understand the mechanics. Like for some reason, like it wouldn't click in my head at all.
It's not super well, like it doesn't teach you really well how to do it. So it kind of expects you to like just grasp what you're supposed to do. And that's not necessarily obvious. So
it's definitely not obvious. Obvious.
It's not the worst fishing minigame. I will say this till the ends of the earth. Core Keeper has a worse fishing minigame, which it also does not explain to you. Unless you're a rhythm game enthusiast. If you like rhythm games, then you might like Core Keeper, because it's a rhythm game. You have to like each type of fish has a certain pattern. And you gotta like do the thing in the pattern. And if you're a rhythm game enthusiast and you have the timings in your head, then they're not so bad, but it takes a lot of time. Like there's a little
Ooh.
like explainer thing, I guess, as I'm sitting in the mini game for the first time, but
Mhm.
I also was confused at the beginning, so
I need to
also
remember that I'm running out of energy, and I probably shouldn't try fishing. There's like one fishing spot I wasn't getting any bites though. Whatever. Moving on.
yeah, you live
Find the next thing.
dangerously if you fish when you have low energy.
Yeah. Okay, I have a question for you. So you know how in the game, like in the default game, the original game before 1.6, and you had a farm, you would start with parsnips as the vegetable that you grew,
Yeah.
like when your first vegetables in spring. To me, the parsnip is not the vegetable. The parsnip is not the vegetable I plant first in spring, like or imagine planting first in spring.
No. I don't even know if I would plant parsnips in spring. I think I would
I
plant
thought they were a winner.
parsnips in summer going into fall. Kind of same
No,
with
I didn't.
carrots, actually.
Yeah.
Because you don't want them to be, you don't really want to be digging them up when
Hmm.
it's hot.
Yeah.
They don't really like
Talking about
that.
carrots, I got a carrot seed from some wiggly worms in the ground.
Ooh. Wiggly worms, thank you for this beautiful bounty.
Yeah.
We'll have to plant those carrots. I guess we'll just plant them against our real life advice of not planting them in the spring.
I think like radishes are like a
Radishes
spring
or peas.
or peas, yeah, because they tolerate the cold so well.
Yeah. Radishes, peas. Um there's some leafy greens that I would think of, like certain
Lettuce,
types of lettuce and
yeah.
kale and stuff. Or even like I don't know, I it would be kind of cool if there was like I don't know, tomatoes and peppers or something that are like really
Mhm.
long season crops because those you cannot plant those in summer and have those produce.
Yeah. You
So
got to seed start early.
exactly. I mean, I wish games had seed starting.
I know. I watch. So, for those of you in my chat, I don't know if you've seen, but Raz made a really good YouTube video recently about features that she wishes were in farm sim games. Let me just. Do you want to talk about? Well, I'm just gonna go look it up so I can like share it with my chat because
Yeah.
I
Yeah, yeah.
see.
So, well, thanks for the shout out, the
Oh
boost.
well, of course, of course.
Um, yeah, so I was just talking about like basically like a wish list of features that I wish were in farming sims that we just like never really get to see, or they do exist but they're in very rare like one-off games and they've never become a staple. So first of all, we have a horse in every single one of these games. Why do we not have a plow? That's what I
Yeah,
want to know. I'm tired of tilling
yeah,
by hand.
yeah.
So that's pretty busted. Um, I really want like livestock guardian animals. I think that would require that predators make a comeback. But I wouldn't be mad about that. I know that some people did not like the wild dogs in like the early
Mhm.
Harvest Moons, but I don't mind those. I
They
thought
were
they were
wild dogs in early Harvest Moon.
yes, and they would
Would
like
they
come
attack your sheep and stuff?
yeah, they would come onto your
Oh,
property and like you
a little
needed your
too real.
yeah, it was like they would like really go after stuff. So you needed your fencing to be good and you wanted your dog to like be good. You could chase the wild dogs down yourself, at least in like the
Mhm.
N64 version, and like hit them with the hammer or whatever, but tricky.
Yeah.
Um but I think like guardian livestock guardian animals would be fun. And then like um I want seed starting. I want seed starting
Mhm.
really bad.
Mhm.
Think that would be so joyful.
Yeah.
Um I forget what else I put in. I put so many things in there, but my mind is now blanking. Um, those were like my main gripes, I felt like, but I have many. There's lots of mechanics. I wish permaculture was in there. I didn't put that in the video because I didn't feel like explaining permaculture, but one day, maybe I'll have to make a whole video about how permaculture could be included
Mhm.
or be used
The
as an
game
educational tool. That could be
I was
fun.
gonna say, like, it would be a good way to kind of teach people about, kind of some of the basics. Oh, whoops, it's too early to go meet people. I was gonna try and go meet people, but
Me too.
I
went
just
to
realized this, like, it's 7 a.m. and no one's awake until 9.
I went to Robin's and it was like, girl, stop.
Yeah.
Stop this.
Oh, because it's raining, that means Sebastian would be out, right?
I think he will be. He sometimes is also wandering around at night. I'm trying to figure out who I guess I haven't met Penny. I need to get.
Oh, I haven't met a lot of people.
I haven't met Penny. I don't think I've met Jazz. I don't think. Yeah, there's a few people. I'll have to make the rounds today. So, our main topic for today was our historical reality TV shows, which, for those of you who don't know, there was a brief period. There was a brief period where it was very popular in the early 2000s.
I mean, brief, it was like 10 years, I think. Like,
well, there was like a brief period where it was like every year one was coming out, and then there was like a resurgence, I want to say, in like 2015. So there was this period, especially at the beginning of like the early 2000s, when reality TV was like a big thing and everyone was hype about those shows, that they were like, you know what we should do? We should get these normal people to volunteer to live like it is a historical time period. And then we'll film them and we'll see what they get up to in there. And as you can imagine, most people had a bad time, but it did make for kind of excellent television. And now there's a ton of these shows, and they are both interesting from a historical standpoint, and you watch a lot of people having a bad time, I guess.
Yeah. And I have to say, it was like a phenomenon that was prevalent in the English-speaking world on like both sides of the Atlantic.
Yes.
So it was like a British phenomenon, and at the same time, like an American phenomenon.
Yes.
And I think even though like Brits and Americans tend to have very divergent tastes when it comes to reality television, the outcomes are often, I don't know, did you find them quite similar? I kind of find them quite.
Yes, I think like I think what's so interesting. Also, Remy, welcome in. I see your rating in. Anzi, oh my goodness, you girls.
Hey
welcome,
everyone.
Welcome Raiders. Oh my goodness.
Welcome Raiders and Raz's chat.
We are doing something less wild than Democracy and Helldivers. We raid you back. Welcome. I hope you guys had fun doing the democracy thing. We're talking about historical reality TV shows. It's so interesting, Kias, because I agree that the outcomes were largely the same in both places, which I'm kind of shocked at, like you said, because I do think that people have largely, like the TV shows, we have largely different taste.
Yep.
But for some reason, we bonded, as we probably have not since, I don't know, the Revolutionary War. Yeah. but for some reason, we were all obsessed with these shows. Also, Z and Remy, if you guys have to go eat or rest or get a drink or any of that good stuff, please do so. Definitely don't feel pressured to stay, but thank you for bringing everybody by. I appreciate it. But yeah, so the first, it's not technically the first show, because I found one that was actually filmed in the 70s, if you can believe it, that I've never seen before.
What was the one that you saw in the 70s? Because I've seen not historical reenactment shows, but this kind of reality television style show from that period as well. But it was about like children, and I can explain further, but I want to hear what you found.
I've never seen this one, but I found it in the wiki. There was a show filmed in 1978. I believe it was a British show. And they took a bunch of people and had them live like it was the Iron Age, which is actually wild because the Iron Age is like way back.
Yeah.
That's quite primitive in comparison to what they were having people do later. Yeah. And I imagine
the Brits are obsessed with the Iron Age. Like, you know, it's like a major plot device in a lot of Midsummer Night Murders.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I guess yeah, they were just like fascinated by that. So they stuck all those people there. I haven't seen it. I'll have to try and like hunt it down, but I have to imagine it must be something
Oh,
like
it must be on YouTube
it must be. And it
somewhere.
must be something like Colonial House where it's like when you have
Mhm.
that many people on the show, it ends
Mhm.
up kind of being like Survivor, you know? Where like people hate each other. There's like
Yeah.
weird alliances. Like people start doing some weird social stuff. But
Yeah.
tell me about your early show that you've seen.
My early show, and again, I'm thinking about the fact that, like, again, most people kind of associate reality television with like, would it be the late 90s, early 2000s with like the real world and like,
Yeah. I think
Mhm.
the real world, one of them might have started in like the late 80s, but I feel like the boom was really like 90s into 2000s, where
Yeah,
like most people were like watching it.
yeah. But there was definitely this like pre reality television boom era in like the 60s and 70s because I remember watching a doc. It was kind of like a documentary multi-part show um over several decades
Oh,
where people interviewed these children from very different walks of life.
yeah.
And now that I'm bringing it up because it just came to my head, I forgot what the title of the show was, but I think it was something like Growing Up something. Growing Up like,
Is it
oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, I feel like I've seen maybe a similar show, but later that was riffing on that. That was like, it was specifically about poor children, though. It was about like
Yeah,
growing up in poverty, and I forget the
yeah,
name. It was a similar name, like growing up
yeah,
something.
yeah. And very similar. It was like, it focused a lot on class issues and it was kind of like almost a sociological experiment. Like these documentarians interviewed the same group of children who became adults well
Yeah.
into their 60s.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's wild.
Yeah. It was pretty wild. I'm fishing right now, otherwise I would Google it and just see if I could find it. Oh, I got trash. And
It's
I'm running out of room. So I'm gonna start heading back a little bit, I guess, and try and see if I can find other people to talk to in town. But I will look it up in a second and just see if I can find it on Google. Let's see. Hold on while I look this up.
yeah. I'm
Documentary,
so
because it was really
curious.
interesting. And there was
Yeah.
another documentary I saw. I think it was like either Canadian or British. I'm like forgetting what it was, but it was about like this 60s or 70s couple that decides to like begin an open marriage and it ruins the husband's life.
Oh. Why does it ruin his life? Man,
I don't know
what's
because he was like, oh, the film series, the documentary series I was talking about previously is called the Up series, the Up
Oh,
film series. And
interesting.
it begins in 1964 when all the participants who are like children are 7.
Oh.
And they like visit sorry, I keep like taking out my fishing pole for some reason. They visit the children over like several years. And I think their films, it's 7 up, then 7 plus 7, then 21 up, 28 up, et cetera, et cetera. So they like come back at like, every 7 years to check on these people.
Oh, that's so
The
interesting.
last the last one they made was in 2019. It was 63 up. So they were in their 60s.
Wow,
Hmm.
that's wild. I
That is
think
pretty.
I think we do have to acknowledge. I was thinking about this when we were talking about this
Hmm.
topic that I think we're only just now culturally coming into the realization that children can't consent to being on a TV show or
Yes.
being part of an experiment or whatever. And while an adult can sign themselves up to be like, yeah, I'm going to live like it's, the 1880s in Montana for 5 months and it's going to be hellish, no child can really say the same. So there is always this like, I feel like in a lot of these TV shows, there's this like hidden cost of these children that are like at the time we didn't think of it as exploitation, but I think in the
Hmm.
modern era we can acknowledge is
It is definitely
exploitative.
exploitation.
Yeah,
Yeah. I,
which is
yeah,
unfortunate.
I know there's like definitely a lot of discussion about that, especially when it comes to like, how on YouTube there's a lot of people who document their families, like their YouTube families.
Yes.
And like kids, like those kids are now old enough to talk about how they hated that so much.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And how like it was a really disruptive part of their life. I mean, at
Yeah.
this point, I feel like I get like really radical about these things, but I always feel like I'm always like at the edge where I'm like, maybe we should just ban like children should not be allowed to be entertainers. Maybe we don't
Mm,
have child models. Maybe we don't have child actors.
yeah.
Maybe we don't have any of that because it seems like the adults around them do not seem to be capable or willing to like work in their best interest, sadly.
Or set up like appropriate boundaries. I mean, like I'm thinking too, in Japan they have that show where the little kids do like chores or little errands in different
Yeah,
places.
it's like my first errand or whatever.
Mhm, mhm. And it's like it's very cute, but like what are the ethics behind that? Because mainly it shows the children like I don't know. I don't
Having
know
a
if that's
bad
like
time
having
most of the
well, most
time.
of the time they're having a good time. They're like very independent and they got it together.
Sometimes they have a meltdown though, which is fair. The little
Yeah.
anxious ones are like, I'm scared. This is stressful. That would have
Mm-mm-mm.
been me. I would have just perished. I wouldn't have made it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was thinking of that when we were talking about these because when we were talking about some of the shows that we were like rewatching recently,
Oh, they're chock full of children.
they're chock full of children, right? And so it's like it's really challenging because like as much as it's shocking I think when you realize like on the one hand children are really resilient to a lot of the
Mhm.
stuff. Like I feel like the um adults struggle with a lot of garbage because
Yeah.
they just are unable to handle like dealing with things being different and like the level of drudgery and like hard work that they're being asked to do, and the kids are maybe a
Mhm.
little bit better about that. But at the same time they did not sign up to be there. They couldn't
Yeah.
have had that conversation and be like, yeah,
Or
I'm down
I
to
mean,
do
if
that.
they did like quote unquote sign up, it's more like they were asked by their family members, and there's a kind of a way in which you can't say no. It's not exactly coercion, but
Right.
it is just like the authority of my household. My guardian is like telling me to that this would be fun,
Yeah.
and they're presenting it such terms that, like I cannot say no
Right.
because I don't have the any sort of kind of authority to do that.
Right. Yeah, it's complicated. It makes watching some of the shows hard, I think. Specifically, did you ever watch Kid Nation?
Is that the one where they put like it's like a group of boys in a house and then a group of girls in a house, and they like it's like a Lord of the Flies type situation where they have to set up the rules and like live on their own?
No, but I have heard of that one. I had never seen
Yeah.
it, but I've heard of that and I was like that is wild. Kid
Mhm.
Nation was they took 40 children
Mhm.
and they bust
Oh,
them
we have
all
eggs.
out to the desert. Yeah, I grabbed some yesterday. I forgot that we like hadn't seen our chickens because it was like raining, and I was like, "Oh yeah,
Whoops.
I guess we should say hi to them."
Yeah.
Um, they bust all these kids out to the desert, and they had this like fake whatchamacallit, like I don't want to say ghost town, but it was kind of a ghost town, like an old Wild
Ooh.
West town set up for
Mhm.
them. And they were like, "Okay, kids, there's no adults here. You guys set up your own society." And then they
Uh-huh.
made a reality TV show about it. And there were some weird like survivor style like mini games and stuff, and
Yep.
the kids were in teams at some point, but like looking back, it's so cruel. Like these kids are not having a good time a lot of the time. Cuz like, like a lot of them, and it's like their ages range from, I think the youngest was like 7 or 8, and they
Mhm.
go all the way up to 16, which first of all, that's a wide range of ages and
Yeah.
maturity levels. Which then of course the older kids get like parentified and are having to deal with like the stress of being in this situation, and also like having these really young kids that are not able to do work but also are struggling emotionally.
Mm-mm.
And then they're just being filmed all the time by adults who will like won't help them when you know, they like are struggling to cook for themselves. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It was like filmed, and I feel like it was on like PBS, and I was like, this is shocking that you guys thought that this was okay. And it was done like 2011, 12, like fairly
Well,
recently.
this was on PBS?
Yes, it was on PBS.
Wow. Wow.
That's why I was like, this is shocking. I didn't think PBS would do this, but
Yeah.
yeah, it was a wild time. It was a weird
Oh,
one.
and for those of you in chat or watching who are not from the States, PBS stands for Public Broadcast Station, and it's like the station meant for kind of the public. It's very educational. I'm sure you have something very similar if you're in a different country.
Yeah, exactly. So like the fact that PBS had a show
Did it?
like that was kind of like, oh my god, you guys
Yeah,
are normally pro
from the people who
kids.
brought you Mr. Mr.
Exactly,
Rogers' Neighborhood.
right?
Yeah,
Mr. Rogers right alongside Kid Nation, where they're
yeah.
making the children butcher chickens.
They made the children butcher chicken.
Yes.
No.
They did have like the caveat was like one of the 16-year-olds was the son of a butcher. So he knew how to
Oh,
do it, and he was the one butchering it. But the other kids were still there watching as they butchered these
yeah.
chickens, and they were definitely not emotionally ready for the realities of the food system.
Hmm. Hmm.
So it was a choice.
Yeah. But these historic like reenactment reality television shows that both of us are obsessed with are like a very specific kind of subgenre because
Yes.
they can have survivor-esque challenges to them, or most of the time it's just like people trying to reenact things in ways that are just kind of like there's no like host, there's no like
No.
presence
No.
to tell them what to do.
Yeah, it's mainly them with a camera crew that usually either comes a certain amount of time, or in the case of some of the ones that are like in a house, they'll have
Mhm.
cameras like in the house with them,
Mhm.
that they can just like that are just on all the time pretty much, and that they just like pull things from. Or a couple of them, I think 1900 House, they might have had the ability to turn on and off the cameras like it was like it was a diary for them to record in. So they would like have
Oh.
they would have video cameras in the rooms, but you would just go and like talk to them. And so you would like, if you, I don't know, you would be like, today today sucked because I had to wash laundry for 12 hours or something. And then, you know, they would just like say that to the camera, and it would
Okay.
be
So,
its own
but the
thing.
1900 house, like you're saying that's for 1900 house. That's specifically the kind of thing that you would see there.
Yes, I do think, I'm not sure if they did the same thing with like 1940 House, and I vaguely
Mm.
remember in Edwardian Country House, I also think they had video diaries. But they had,
Interesting.
I think Edwardian Country House had a specific setup, like either a room, because they were in a big country mansion, like a Downton
Mm.
Abbey style house.
Yeah, yeah,
So they
yeah.
definitely had like at least one room where you could just go. A lot of these other ones, it was like the house is not that big, so they just
Mm.
stuck a camera in the corner of the room and they were like, use that. Or it was the style like, which is a little bit more familiar, which is like Victorian slum house style and
Yeah.
frontier house, where it's just a camera crew comes like a certain amount of time and like films you, usually, and then
Yeah.
like leaves for who knows how long. I know at least with Frontier House. So Frontier House is my favorite. Also, the only
Okay.
one of the first ones I ever saw. Like I saw Frontier House when it came out. Do you know what your first one that you ever watched was? If you can remember.
Like thinking back, it may have been Frontier House because I
Mm-hmm.
think that came out at like a really specific time. I like remember that quite distinctly. But I think it was either what was it Edwardian the house where it's upstairs downstairs and some people are like
Yes.
it's not Edwardian house. It was earlier, right? Because it was more like
Edward
romantic era.
Edwardian Country House is the one where it's one family upstairs and then like 15 people as the servants
Yeah.
downstairs.
Is that the one where there was a guy who wanted to become the permit?
No. Okay, I think the Hermit was Regency House Party, which was a weird dating show.
Yeah.
And one of the
I
dudes
think
was like, I want to just become a hermit instead.
yeah. And he begins a torrid affair with like an older
Yes,
woman.
yes, because they had
Yeah.
chaperones for all the girls.
Hmm.
They had
Hmm.
like older women chaperones. And yeah, I think that one was so wild because that one was so strange because I think the order of them. So
Hmm.
1900 House was like the first one, and it was a huge success because it was filmed in 1999. So it was meant to be
Uh-huh.
like the last year of the century,
Yeah.
and it was supposed to be going back 100 years, and it was like people were pretty hyped about it. And it was a British show, and so it did really well on the BBC. Or actually
Mm.
not BBC, it was Channel 4, I guess. And then PBS brought it over to the US, and then people were like enthralled with it.
Hmm.
And then the year after 1900 House, I believe they did Frontier House, which
Hmm.
was three families living in Montana like it was the 1880s for 5 months. The
Yeah.
1900 House was only them living in the one house for 3 months, and the kids still went to school. The wife took time off from work, but the husband still went to work. And like
Hmm.
the kids wore no normal clothes at school. Um, and then I think after that, I want to say it was then Edwardian Country House,
Hmm.
and then it was Regency House Party, I think. So Regency House Party is where they were like, oh, but what if we throw in like people really like these like survivor game shows or like The Bachelor or something
Yeah.
must have been happening
Yeah.
at the same time. So they were like, what if we mash these up? And it just I don't think it did as well. It was still
No.
funny, but I don't think people were as like interested in it because it was a shorter time period too. Like I think they were in that house for like a month or something. Like it wasn't super long from what I
Yeah.
remember.
Yeah. I mean, you've watched the first one of these that kind of came out in that kind of pivotal year, the 1900 House. I don't think I actually watched that. What was that about?
So it's so funny because I didn't watch 1900 House when it came out, but I had seen
Uh-huh.
Frontier House and was like I had watched Frontier House, Colonial House,
Mm.
Texas Ranch House, which is a trip.
Mm.
Um
Texas Ranch House. I'm writing this down.
Texas Ranch House is a trip. Um and I was like pretty obsessed, but I had kind of forgotten about these shows. And then in college, I took a 19th century art class,
Awesome.
and or it was like 19th century and then like a little bit of early 20th century. And my professor was like, we should watch 1900 House because it'll give you a really good idea of like what the interiors of people's houses looked
Uh-huh.
like and material culture. So, and she told us to just go on YouTube and watch this illegal rip of the
Uh-huh.
show, which is so funny.
Yeah.
So we just like went and casually watched 1900 House, which so the premise of 1900 House is it's one family. They took
Mhm.
this house that it was a terrace house, so like a townhouse style
Mhm.
row home, and they gutted it. It was originally built in the 1860s, but it had definitely been like remodeled to be a little bit more modern. They gutted it back to like the studs and rebuilt walls and stuff so that the layout was the same as it would have been. And then they kitted out the whole house with like period gear. They had like a period stove, and the whole point was that they wanted to pick a middle class family
Mhm.
in real life, and they wanted to have the family, their circumstance in the show, be middle class in 1900.
Mm.
So they were really interesting because they had a lot of stuff in this house, but they were distinctly not rich. So they could afford like a maid of all work, for instance, but like that took like a pretty significant part of their budget to do that. So a lot of the work was done by the women in the home. So it was this mother, the father, their 16-year-old daughter,
Uh-huh.
their twin 11-year-old daughters, and
Uh-huh.
I want to say their son is like 7 or 8. And then they're all just living in this one home. And I want to say, I don't know if all the girls slept in one bedroom or if it was like the twins in one room, the 16-year-old in her own room, and the son in his own room. But there was a decent number of rooms, but the house is it's very true to the era because it's extremely cramped, narrow, and dark inside.
Huh?
And the family was going to live there for 3 months, and they were supposed to live like it was 1900, so they would get all of these local bakers and butchers and grocers would come to their door, and like milkmen would come to their door because they don't have a refrigerator.
Uh-huh.
So every day people would like show up and like have things to sell to them, essentially. And that was like super interesting, but the family was, because it was like the first of these shows, the family was like woefully unprepared for what the reality of the experience was, I think.
Could you give like an example of what you mean by woefully unprepared? I feel like now that you're mentioning it, I feel like I have seen an episode of this. Is this one where during the course of the show, the women realize they can't use like modern shampoo, so they have to use like
Yes.
egg whites?
Yes. And they sneak
It's-
off to the grocery store and they get real shampoo and then they feel bad about it and pour it down the drain.
That is what, yeah, that is what is meant by woefully unprepared. Also, hello, Vocal. Yes, this is Vocal just wrote, holy shit, a crossover greater than the Avengers. Yes, this is this is a great crossover. So 1900, oh my gosh. Okay, so what are the other things that you saw? Because you were rewatching this, you were learning more like about this family. I only had very vague memories of this.
So the big one, oh god. Hello, Marnie? You see this cat here? I do see this cat. It's a cute
I don't
cat.
see a cat.
Okay, she's showing me a cat. I think
Okay.
it's a stray. Okay, so we should adopt it.
Yay.
I think it likes this place. Yes, we're gonna adopt this cat. What should we name our cat before we proceed?
Should it be on theme with the other instruments of this
Oh yeah,
farm?
true. Maybe we should do musical instruments. We could
Mhm.
do. Should we do? We could do cello. We
Mhm.
could do oboe.
Oboe.
We could do saxophone. We could do trumpet, tuba. Oh, tuba might be a cute name for like a fat cat.
Yeah.
And like our cat's gonna get.
I think tuba would be good. I don't know why. That just makes me laugh.
Let's do tuba because like our cat's gonna be well loved and have
Mhm.
plenty to eat.
Yeah.
All right, let's do
That's a treat.
tuba.
Mhm.
Blessed tuba. Perfect. Tuba's thriving. So, okay. So in 1900 House. So here's the thing. This is like a classic trope that I'm sure that you will see echoed in like the
Mhm.
shows that you watched too. It seems to me that in almost every one of these historical reality shows where it's normal people being asked to live in the past, it's almost always the wife that signs up.
Yep.
But seems to completely underestimate how awful being a woman in a time period without rights, where you are stuck in a home doing dishes and laundry by hand, exists.
Yep.
And just like that, the life of women before kind of the domestic revolution is pretty miserably just drudgery.
Mhm.
So that was Joyce in particular, the mom
Mhm.
in 1900 House, has a meltdown that like you don't see in most of the other shows, I would say. Like
What is the meltdown about? Like how far into the program do we see this meltdown?
days. She has a meltdown on like
Within
day
days?
2. Yeah, like day 2 or 3. So it's
Wow.
like it's literally episode 1 that she has her big meltdown. So basically, to be fair to her,
Mhm.
this is a woman who I think she's a school inspector in her real life outside of this show. So she doesn't do like physical labor. And she definitely did not like work out beforehand.
Hmm.
And this isn't to say that like she's not strong or anything, but you can just tell that like the amount of physical labor she is being asked to do, she has to haul buckets of coal to put
Hmm.
into her coal stove. A coal stove is pretty brutal to like keep at temp, and this
Yeah.
stove is responsible for heating all of the hot water in the house in
Oh
addition
gosh.
to her cooking. And she's also a vegetarian,
Oh,
which
that's pretty rough. There were
I
not a lot of vegetarians at the end of the 19th century.
I don't know why they picked her because it must have been insanely hard for her to find
Mhm.
meals that she could make and eat.
Yeah.
Because while a lot of other cultures, like non-Western cultures, did have vegetarian culture as like a
Yeah.
part of their dietary culture, that's not really the case in like 1900 Britain.
Yeah. The late
Um,
Victorian period, early Edwardian period was like the era of the jellied
y-
calf's foot, like,
yes.
monstrosity.
Yes. Or like a whole roasted swan on your
Yeah.
table. So and not only is she a vegetarian, she cannot handle the smell of cooking meat or
Oh,
the
dear.
the sight or the processing of meat.
Oh, boy.
And so obviously she's in a really small home.
Mhm.
Smells travel, so anytime they wanted to like eat food, and the easiest things to find and cook on like a stove like that are like sausages, you know? Like meat is
Yeah.
easier to cook than like something more delicate and not have it
Yeah.
just turn into like a gross mush.
Yeah.
So she just, I think by day 2 or 3, she had a bit of a meltdown because I think she was fighting with the stove. Her youngest son, or her only son, I guess, her
Mhm.
youngest child, only son, ended up being a picky eater, and he would not eat almost any of the period things. So I think by day 3, he had been eating just bread and cheese for 3 days and was, I'm sure, he's a kid. He's like 7. He's like
Yeah.
complaining about, like, my stomach hurts, like, I'm hungry all the time, but like she feels like she has nothing to give him.
Mhm.
And the stove is acting up, and everyone's complaining about how, like, they can't get hot water for the bath. And she just has an absolute melt. Like, she starts screaming at her husband. They get in this like big fight. She goes
Oh, no.
outside and just starts like crying and like screaming in
Oh,
their
no.
backyard. And I feel bad. And I think also too, again, all of these people, I don't think they had very much like training time because again, this is like the first show that they had done this in a period like this, so they just gave them guidebooks that were period guidebooks on like how to set up
Mhm.
a home, but they didn't like send them to training to be like, here's how you use borax, here's how you cook on a coal
I
stove.
thought they did send them to training for one thing specifically, which was, like, how do you deal with your period as a woman of this period?
Yeah, I think they must have said something to them because my girl Joyce got on her period quickly, which was part of the
Oh.
meltdown, she thinks. She later was like, "Oh, that explains why I was like a literal nightmare last week."
Mhm.
Um and she had fashioned like a basically like a primitive pad for
Mhm.
herself. But honestly, yeah, she has it's her and 3 daughters in the home. Must have been
Yeah.
very stressful because it's not like sanitary products were really a thing in the way that we conceptualize them. Um, so I think they were all struggling with that. So I think that's maybe one of the only things they like told them outright. But otherwise, they were like, I don't know, check these books. Good luck. So then, obviously, like I think she is the mom and the like it being in a domestic situation, the cooking and the cleaning and the heating of the home falls on her. So she
Yeah.
just has kind of a meltdown about it, which is a
Oh, poor
common
Joyce.
theme in a
Mhm.
lot of these. I feel like the moms feel bad about how badly it goes early on,
Mhm.
especially.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I mean, it does go to show, like, how important technology was historically for, like, the emancipation of women's time and energy.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like,
100%.
the one episode I think I can remember distinctly from the show is that at some point, she gets a vacuum cleaner.
Yes.
And it doesn't work very well.
Yes.
But she's like, oh my goodness, like this is like, it's revolutionary.
Yeah. Well, so at one point she hires a maid of all work. She does hire a maid of all work for like a week. And I think part of it is like she has this realization that she like so there's this fascinating phenomenon in almost all of these shows. The men are having the time of their lives.
Oh yeah.
They are deeply enjoying the patriarchy and the really strict gender roles and how they tend to have like a lot more freedom and they can do a lot more stuff, and that their wives are supposed to like listen to them or whatever. I mean, how much they actually role play that in the time outside of the cameras rolling, it's hard to say. But like the concept that like they're like, I'm the head of the household, you know? And you see some of that in 1900 House where like the husband starts getting like aggressive about stuff and like putting his foot down and like throwing his weight around. Maybe more like
what
they
stuff.
He gets, so in particular, he gets really pushy with Joyce about like things not being done in the house. Like he'll be like complaining to her about the hot water instead of like he's like an adult man, right? Like he could always just put more coal on the stove and like stoke it and figure stuff out, and he just like does not seem to do that. And then he also very particularly seems to not get on with the maid of all work, Elizabeth, who they hire. And Elizabeth is like such a gem. Like she is like an absolute warrior.
Wait, what is Elizabeth's deal? Is she like a historian? Is she a regular person who auditioned for the role? Like
she's a regular person who does work she does work like cleaning jobs. She's been like a janitor. I think she's worked in like hotel cleaning and stuff. So she's done that kind of work in a variety of different positions, and she had auditioned for the role because she is like a third generation woman in that industry. Like her mother was also a cleaner and her grandmother was a maid. So
she wanted to like go back and think about that family connection, which is a common theme in all the shows too. Like everyone has like, oh, my great grandparents, my grandparents did this, so I want to find out what it was like.
Exactly. So she's like amped to be there, and she also, because she does this for a living, she is genuinely like quite skilled, even with the like lack of technology for the time. She knows what she's doing, like very obviously, in a way that like Joyce does not. I don't know if Joyce just like doesn't really clean her house, but like she seemed confused about things that I was like,
what are some examples? Like what was she
so like
not getting?
When Elizabeth showed up, she said that the house was like literally filthy, like they had not dusted anything, which when you're running a coal stove is kind of a clear, like it was just grimy. There was just like,
oh no,
like none of the carpets had been like beaten, or like there was just soot like everywhere, which makes sense. You know, you're running like this coal stove. They're running gas lamps as well, and they are using the fireplaces. So it's like there is a lot of particulates in the air in this tiny house. But yeah, she just said like it was genuinely like filthy when she showed up. It was just very dirty. And it was hard to see that on the camera, and I don't know if they just didn't, you know, they didn't want to be like, it's a pigsty in here, these people are struggling. But it was just funny that Elizabeth shows up and was like, it's rough. So Elizabeth does a whole lot of work and genuinely makes the house like really clean. But the husband, I forget his name. He is, I don't know, he seems to just really revel in like his position of authority being absolute in this house, and this woman being like a servant below him. And and that like chafes with her because she knows like, hey, like the both of us are like normal people, like, outside of this, you know?
Yeah.
And, like, this man is
It's
like
like the Stanley prison experiment. It's like the Stanford prison. Is it Stanford or Stanley? Stanford prison
yeah.
experiment or something. Like when you give people power, suddenly they become
Yes.
monsters.
And that's actually something that becomes really apparent in, um, the Edwardian Country House
Uh-huh.
show,
Uh-huh.
because the family that lives upstairs
Yeah.
starts kind of coming up with reasons why they're justified to like have the money and live this life of luxury,
Mhm.
and how it's just to have servants and stuff. And it was like really weird. Like they were trying to just like justify like classes existing in a really uncomfortable way, because they were not a rich family in real life.
Yeah.
They were middle class, but they weren't
Mhm.
like so wealthy. So it was weird to see them really start to think like they genuinely thought that the servants were like dumber than them, deserved to get less money. Like it was, there were
Mhm.
some weird vibes there. Um and the servants, it was so
Yikes.
funny because in that one, the servants downstairs, some of them had better jobs than the people upstairs. Like some of them
Wow.
made more money and worked more high paying, impressive jobs than the upstairs family. So then it kind
Mhm.
of chafes when the family is being like, I think that classes are fine. This is just like the natural order of things. And they were like, "Excuse me? Pardon? Do you wanna amend that?" Okay, I'm gonna put our parsnips in here, by the way,
Okay.
in case we need them for anything. We can sell them too, but
Yeah. Well, I think usually like if you hold on to one, that usually is fine. You can sell the others. But I'm gonna go into the cave and try because I'm gonna try and help us get to the goal of getting that silo. And I know that you have to have copper bars for that.
is that unlocked yet? I didn't pay attention.
The silo or
Mm,
the mines?
the mines.
The mines are unlocked because I got a
Oh.
piece of mail from Joja Mart that they had exploded that rock that they caused to fall into the road.
Oh, I literally didn't even read. I was like, JoJo's writing me? Get out of here. I'm glad
You're
you
like,
read
this
the
is
letter.
all junk mail. Goodbye.
I was like, this is junk mail. Bye.
Uh-huh.
Also, welcome in, Muffins. Hope you're doing well. But yeah, like, I don't know. So many of these shows are just so funny. You have to, okay, so you should tell me about Victorian Slum House.
Oh yeah. So Raz and I were talking about this collab and we both were like, okay, what like what's a show that we can watch in this time? I ended up watching one that I'd never seen before, but Raz, did you recommend it to me? I feel like you
I
did.
did. Yeah.
Victorian Slumhouse.
Yeah.
Like this has been like over the course of months, Raz and I have figured out that we both have enjoyed the same media. There's
Yes.
like shows like Alone and like these historical reenactment like television shows like we've somehow watched many of the same ones and you may have figured out like I don't remember a lot of the titles and I don't remember them, but I have watched them and like some of the things are very like core memories. Oh, hey
Mm-hmm.
Raz.
Hello.
Um but yeah, Victorian Slumhouse is exactly what it sounds like. It's a
Yup.
historical reenactment show. Oh, I found a geode. Where the BBC has sent like multiple families to relive the experience of what it would be like to abide in a slum house in the East End of London over the course of multiple decades. So it's the same, like, I think they're like three core families and then like some, like they add more families and like you lose some families like three to five. I would actually want to say 3 to 5 core families over the whole show, and they lived through multiple decades. So it's like the 1870s through the 1910s, 1920s,
Yeah,
and
and
it
is
is.
it every
Mhm.
week that they change
Oh yeah,
decades?
it's ostensibly like they're staying for the week, but this is something that you and I talked about. It I feel like this show, more so than others, um like has some definite like there's no way these people actually did the things that they said they did in this,
Yeah.
but let's just put it that way. Like, there's no way.
No. No. There's no way.
Yeah.
Like,
Because
making what was it? Paper flowers for 13 hours?
Yeah, because okay, so in your show, everyone was like middle. They were like middle class, or like in the example of a Edwardian house where you had like upper and lower classes. This show was only about people in the lower classes and like the kind of like subsets of poverty that you could exist within. During the late 19th century, early 20th century in London at that time. And so like you get to see at a really minuscule kind of level, like a minute level, like what the differences are, and they are horrifying. So like in the first couple of episodes when it's the 1870s, there's like everyone's impoverished. They all live in the slums. There's one family that consists of a tailor, like he's the father, and his wife and kids, and they actually are doing okay, like relatively okay.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember this family, Raz?
Yes, I do remember them.
Yeah, and like in real life, in their modern lives, the father is like a fancy tailor for like bespoke men's suits. But because they have this like skilled labor experience, their family is able to like make money making clothes.
Mm-hmm.
It does not start out well early enough. Then there's another family. I forgot their names. I want to say it's the Potters.
The Potters kind of sounds correct.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like a grandpa, a grandma who is the one who signed up for the show.
Yeah.
Because her ancestors had lived in the East End and had lived in the East End their entire life. So she was like really interested in like reenacting what this would be like.
Right.
Her daughter, who was like a middle-aged lady, and then her daughter's two daughters who were preteen teen kind of aged, that were brought into this. I am running out of energy, so I'm gonna go leave the cave.
It's okay. I left the cave too.
Yeah. And they're kind of like mid impoverished, the middle of the impoverished road.
Right.
If there is something to that you could say that is, like, if that is an actual level. And you know, they're the family that has to like make these tiny flowers. Then there is in the beginning another family consisting of a single mom, a woman of color, by the way, and her two twin children who are under the age of 10. And they make her live in the worst apartment.
Classic.
And and everyone becomes really mean to her. Within that first episode, they're like, well, she should be working really hard because, you know, like it's just her providing for her kids, and like all the other families have all these critiques of her. They're like, oh, you know, she's like buying a pound's worth of food when she really can't afford to do that. Like, should she be doing that in her position? You know, it's not something I would do.
An interesting take. It's like, listen, fam, you're all in this together.
You're all in this together.
It's so
she's not working as hard as we are.
Right? It's so fascinating because in all of these shows, legitimately, they would all have a much easier time if they worked with the other people on the show. But they always get antagonistic, and it becomes like 10 times harder.
Well, there's a point where like the single mother and the like mid impoverished family like get together and they work on making flowers together, which is like one of the ways that you could make money during this period. Was like you could glue matchboxes together.
Right.
Like literally, like you would get sets of cardboard and your task would be to glue matchboxes together, because this was like pre-factory industrialization with major machines. So you could make that. You could make artificial flowers for fancy women's hats, because everyone in that period wore hats.
And these were all like shops were outsourcing this labor to them, right? Like that was the whole thing. Is like there was this untapped or like relatively untapped market of women at home, and they would send them like, you can work while you're like at home, so you can like do these things from the comfort of your home, and we as a shop like need them, and we're not going to employ you as a real employee or like a contractor.
I mean, it was very real because, like, you know, back in the day, many, many moons ago, when I was a younger snake and I took courses in college, I took a lot of literature courses because I was a fucking nerd.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a really good book about like what it was like to live in the East End. It's a work of fiction, but it's based off of real life. It's a work of literary realism called A Child of the Jago, Jago, by this guy named Arthur Morrison, who was just a, you know, besides being a writer, he was also like one of the premier Japanese art collectors of his time.
Oh,
Um,
interesting.
but yeah, and the book is all about this, like, you know, like it's about how these families are like making matchboxes in their like apartments that they can barely, their flats,
Yep.
I guess you would say, because they're
Right.
British. These
Right.
flats they can barely afford, and like the children are so hungry, they're like eating the glue paste that they're supposed to use
Yep. Mm-hmm.
to like make to make these matchboxes. And like the other careers, you know, that people could have, it was just like, you know, you could be like a costermonger who's like someone who sells stuff out of barrels, you know,
Right. Right.
or you could be a watercress girl, like a girl who sells watercress on the side of the street. So these families are like made to do these tasks, and I just keep thinking, like, you know, there is no way these families actually sat and did 13 hours of this.
No.
There's no way.
No.
'Cause I think if they had, the TV producers would not have been able to stop themselves from like doing a fast forward for the audience of you watching these people like laboring on these tiny little flowers or like
Exactly.
trying to glue matchboxes together for hours.
They would have made way more of a like thing of it if that had
Mhm.
been the case. Which is why we
Yeah,
know that they definitely didn't, because they would have been like, look, we
look at
made
them.
them do this. Yeah.
Look at them suffer.
Exactly. Look at them break down. They
Yeah.
do this.
Yeah, I think the first couple of episodes are like particularly brutal because they show you these like very, well, I guess it's like it would be a kind of like a cottage industry kind of like task, right? Except
Yeah.
they're not in cottages, they're in like these one room apartments. And it looks like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, you know, in the beginning of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory when
Yes.
it's like the grandparents are all in a bed, like, you know, like
Yes.
like in the household with the Potters, like the grandparents are all in the bed, and then the mom and her kids are all in another bed in the same room.
Yep.
The mom with the single mother with the two children. I hate that I'm using that term, but it's like it's kind of, I forgot their names. I'd like it's like the family with the grandparents,
Uh,
the Taylors. Like, you know, you start to
yeah.
know them by like the composition in a way. So you can pardon my bad memory about this, but they like, you know, like they're all living in these tiny little rooms, and like the constant threat, I keep forgetting there's other people in the slum house too that are really important players. They're constantly like trying to make rent, which actually isn't the most expensive thing. The most expensive thing in this world, in this historic time period, is food,
Yeah.
and they cannot make enough
Mm-hmm.
money for food.
No.
And they also desperately need to make money for rent, because what's worse than not eating is not having a place to stay.
And they have like there is a so like there was a whole thing that I remember from that show is if you can't make rent and
Mhm.
you had a nicer room, you would get kicked out and someone else would move in. So there was
Oh yeah.
always this like constant shuffle with some of the families, like this threat of like if you don't make enough this week, like they're going to take your room. And
Yeah.
then if you get kicked out of your room, you also like there was what? There was like a place without beds. Remember like you what? You
Yes,
sleep on
it
a
was called the
bench?
Doss House,
Yeah.
which was a real historical thing that people had to endure. Like the Doss House. So like within the slum house, which you have to imagine is like a giant like apartment building full of these rooms, and everyone is like sharing one courtyard where they do all the cooking and stuff, so they can see each other at all times.
Yeah.
It's a veritable panopticon. Um, and like there's this guy who lives with them, um, who is like, in the show he's referred to as like crippled because in real life, in like his real life, he is disabled. He has like a prosthetic leg, and he joined the show because he wanted to see what disability was like during this period. Like he was really
Mhm.
curious, and he gets shown, and he's like, because you're disabled, not only, they didn't make him use a peg leg, they like made him like a specialty leg or something
Yeah.
that is not period accurate. But because he's disabled, like he can't get the jobs that the other men in the show can get, which is usually like unskilled labor, like literally taking a hammer and breaking a bell apart, or
Right.
like carrying a heavy sack at the port.
I literally thought that grandpa on the show was gonna die
Yeah.
on the show.
I know, me too. Because he's like, my back hurts so bad. And he's on the verge of like, he sounds miserable. So they must have at least made him work like 3 to 7 hours or something like that.
I got like really concerned because like a lot of the adults were really like not eating so that their
Yeah.
kids could eat. And
Yeah.
I was like, this old man, this grandpa, he's gonna die. He's gonna die on the show because he's like going and doing all this like hard labor, and then like he's complaining that his back hurts, and that man looked like he was steps away from death.
Yeah.
The whole time.
At any given moment. I made a furnace, by the way.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, I was concerned. I was concerned for that man's welfare for sure.
Yeah, but like, so the man who was the DOS house executor, like the person who was in charge of that, he was basically like their landlord. So like during this period, you could have, if you had a disability, you could like act as the landlord. Or if you had like some sort of circumstance that made it hard to keep a steady job, as everyone else was kind of supposed to, or trying to at least, you could be in your slum house the neighborhood landlord, and you lived with everyone else, and you were of the same class, but like you had to collect rents from them and like manage the worst part of the slum house, which was the DOS house. And the DOS house is like a giant room. It's, if you can't rent a private room for you and your family, or just for yourself, you could rent a bed. You could rent a bed. I have 2 copper bars, by the way. I think we need like 10.
I think it's 10 copper bars.
Is it 10 copper? I think it's. Let me go ask Robin, and I'll let you know.
Okay.
I'm gonna go over there and ask her. I'll let you pet the chickens.
Yeah, I'll pet the chickens. I'll collect the eggs.
Uh-huh.
Pet the chickens.
Yeah.
Let them out.
Yeah, but he's in charge of the DOS house, and like you can rent a bed, and the beds are like, you can sleep in a quote unquote coffin bed, which is,
oh yeah, I forgot about the coffin beds.
4 like 2x4s, like nailed together into the shape of a like like a raised bed or something that you use for a garden, and they just put like straw and a blanket there.
Yeah. Yeah, you can imagine the bed bugs.
Yeah,
right.
Imagine the bed bugs. But that was considered like a luxury compared to the alternative, which was sleeping on the DOS, which is literally a bench against a wall, and they've put a rope across the bench to keep you up.
It's like a rope
lean against the wall.
safety net so that you don't like pitch over.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm looking at the silo. It's 100 gold, 100 stone, 10 clay, 5 copper bars.
Okay.
So we're gonna. How much clay do we have?
We have like no clay. I have not seen any clay.
I haven't seen any clay either. So at some point we will, but
I haven't seen like any worms. I'm not gonna lie.
I've literally seen, I think, 2. That was when I got the carrots, and then like something else. I'm gonna check the ocean. But yeah, so like you could sleep in the DOS house, and like rather than sleep in the DOS house, the woman who's the single mother with the 2 kids, like she gets to a point where she can't pay rent, she can't pay for food, she's like in debt to, there's this other quote unquote family, there's this other like couple who are made the shopkeepers of the slum house. They also live in the slum house, and they also have to worry about rent just like everyone else. But they like start being mean to her because they're like, she's not paying, we can't trust her. And as soon as she leaves, they're like, we knew it. We knew we couldn't trust her. She was going to leave us with this debt. She wasn't going to ever pay us back for all this bread. There's no way she could afford like a pound's worth of like bread and butter or whatever it was that she owed.
Yeah, yeah.
and they like become crueler to the next group of people who come in the next week, which is the 1880s house, which is like a crew, like a brother sister pair of Irish immigrants come,
Oh.
and they're like, and no one's mad, but I think I think we're supposed to understand that during this period the English would have been furious that Irish immigrants are coming to take like precious jobs, because like the grandpa of the grandpa family, the grandparent family, is like, I can't get work, but then the young Irish immigrant brother of the brother sister pair gets the job that he would have gotten. They're like, we'll take the young one, and I'm like, whoa. Whoa.
I mean, I feel like this is like classic, like, hey, Brits, did you ever wonder why the Irish might be having to come to Britain? Could it maybe be like all the genocide that you've been doing over there? Just a thought. Yep. Classic.
Genocide, a combination of genocide and the potato famine is, I think, what they explained in the show.
Well, it's like the whole thing with the potato famine is kind of, it's not that there wasn't a potato famine. There was enough food, though. It was just all being forced to be exported to Britain.
Yes.
So it was like,
because of the corn laws.
Yes. So it was like, well, I mean, it's not like there wasn't enough food for the Irish people, but the Brits wouldn't let them eat it.
No. Because like in 1800, not 1900, 1800, like Ireland now is its own separate country, but prior to that, it had actually become incorporated into Britain, Great Britain, and the United Kingdom at exactly 1800. So like Ireland was made like subject to England at that time from 1800 until I think it's like, what is it, 1911? Is that when Irish independence is won or something?
I think it's somewhere in there.
Somewhere in there. It's like definitely in the 20th century.
It's the teens, I think. It's the teens or early 20s. It's around that.
Yeah, and like this is like the cause of the Troubles. So if you're like a Dairy Girl like fan, like North Ireland is like, taken over by Protestants. But this was a period when people were like, again, like subject to kind of genocidal conditions.
Yep.
And also like the government refused to help with a Northern European potato blight problem, which they could have easily resolved. Like, other countries in Europe had the same potato blight, but they didn't have as like much problem.
Yes. Also, Perky says, hope you're enjoying the Stardew update. We are. We're thriving. Well, except for our lack of clay.
Yeah, I think like, where is the clay?
Where's the clay? Like, where are the little worms?
I think it's because we're not farming as much, but that's also because in Meadowlands Farms, like you just don't start off with as many seeds. Oh, are we sharing money, by the way? So we both have like combined 2,814.
You can spend. I have no plans for the money, so feel free to.
Are you sure?
Yes, spend away.
Okay. I might get a larger bag and then go into the mines and try and like get us more materials there, which might make some money. And more copper, because I think we still need like a bunch of bars.
Yep. I'm on floor 9 right now, so feel free
to... you're already in there. Okay.
Come on down. Yeah, I figured I would go copper it up.
Yeah. You're way ahead of me.
I haven't seen a lot of copper though. I'm not gonna lie. There's been a lot of infested floors and other related garbage.
Yeah.
Thanks, Concerned Ape.
Yep. Thanks, Concerned Ape, for giving us that. Yeah, I'll come up there in just a second. So that's like the first 2 decades, like, like one family moves out, another moves in.
Yeah.
Like the tailoring family has been doing fine. Like the kids are forced to learn how to tailor, but like things are going well. Then the tailoring family gets to own a sweatshop, and the mom starts to turn.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I didn't
This
remember
happens
that
in
bit.
it happens in the 1890s. So what happens is like this entire time the tailoring family has been doing okay with their rents because they're, you know, like everyone's doing piecemeal work at home. So
Yeah,
they're all doing these jobs. They're not at factories, they're working from home.
from home.
So they were making like, you know, like hats out of pants and like pants out of coats
Right.
from the comfort of their apartment.
Right.
But they do well enough that they can start hiring other people. And so they get this sweatshop room in the slum house that has like Singer sewing machines, like early Singer sewing machines.
Yeah.
And they start like, you know, like they are suddenly given a lot more, but materials to make things from.
Yeah.
But like you get paid less for it now and they have to do larger quantities because economically during this period. So like each week, like the host will tell them like what's going on like history wise, like
Yeah.
economically during this era. And it's things are not going very well.
Yeah.
For every era, I think like is worse
Yeah.
economically.
Yeah. An
That's what you
economic
learn quite
downturn.
quickly. Yeah. Um. So every era is worse. Um. Oh gosh, I'm being attacked by a mole.
Oh
Um.
God.
And hold on, I forgot what I was saying.
You're good.
They're getting worse. The tailors get this sweatshop and they hire. They're a Jewish family and they're trying to like remake the experience of their earlier Jewish like family members who were tailors in the East End.
Yeah.
And they so like the people who come to become their workers are other Jewish immigrants
Oh.
families, like people whose families were also Jewish immigrant tailors from the East End. And they are the ones who are to work in the sweatshop as like this tailor's family would have, as like all of their ancestors would have during this period. And they are so mean to they're
Oh
like there's
my
like
goodness.
there's like two children in this family, in this tailoring family. There's like a boy and a girl. And the boy keeps a little notepad where he's got a list of things he's supposed to dock money from the workers for if they're engaged in it. Like you can't eat and work at the same time. And you can't take breaks more than like X number
Wait.
of.
They deputize the child to do this?
Yes, they deputize the child to do this.
That's some
And they're
that's some like Killing Fields energy. That might be wild to
yeah,
say,
and
but still, like having the children, because kids are good at catching people out on stuff. That's kind of a
yeah,
thing they're good at. So,
yeah,
but
like you
deputizing
literally see the child do that. He's like, I see that you're drinking a tea while you are like trying to sew. You can't do that. So I'm gonna take like half a pound off your pay or something.
Oh my God, child.
And each infraction has like different costs associated with them. And the mother gets like really into this.
That is wild. Also, Locke, thank you for the hydrate redeem. No, that's like so. This is like a little heavy, but the Killing Fields was a genocide in Cambodia, and they used children to spot like the different ethnic groups because children like follow rules really well and have like they don't have the same level of like empathy because they can't like they're not cooked enough, so they don't get that yet. So it's like it's such a crazy like similar concept of like you deputize a child because like an adult would maybe feel bad, right? They would like feel bad having another like they can understand that this is like another person like working, but a child is really good at being like, this is the rule, here's the consequence.
Yeah, and the funny thing is like the mother even says like, oh, I feel kind of bad that we're doing this. But then she says, but it's imperative for us to survive, so we have to do it this way. We have to be cruel to these people, even though our ancestors likely were in the shoes of these people that we're treating as our like sweatshop employees.
That's wild.
Yeah, and they're like, and like, there's a sidebar where the daughter of the family like gets to talk to camera directly,
Yeah.
and she's like, I have never seen my mother act this way before, and she's like really like disturbed
Yeah.
because I
Yeah.
think anyone would be.
Yeah, I think a lot of these shows actually have a similar thing where the parents, I think that the which is part of the why this is maybe not super ethical to involve children in these kinds of shows, because they do kind of inevitably, the children are forced to watch their parents in a really like disillusioning way,
Mhm,
because their parents inevitably are like either cracking under the pressure or doing things that they didn't think them capable of.
mhm.
um and these kids are just forced to like watch that,
Yeah.
like watch this person who like they, their mom is like normally a nice person and they consider her like charitable and giving and kind, and she's literally
Mhm.
being like, I'm like willing to mulch these other people.
Yeah, and she's like, "Well, I can't believe that woman with the 2 kids without a husband isn't coming to work today." Like,
Right.
it's like, "Oh my gosh," like, that did not take long for people
No.
to suddenly make that turn.
Yeah. And I think
Yeah.
there's a similar thing in Frontier House where like
Mhm.
the whole reason they had 3 families on Frontier House is because only 1 in 3 families proved up their land during the
Oh,
Homesteading Act.
historically?
So yeah, like it was only a like 33% success rate. So the whole point was like, hey, we're going to put 3 families here that have fairly disparate circumstances and then see like which one of them would have actually like made it through the winter at least.
Mhm.
Or like who's in the best position or whatever. And it's super interesting because they do kind of come to that same realization where they kind of quickly are like, it's us or them though, which is
Yeah.
why they kind of don't work together, which as we've discussed is not beneficial to them, but they
No.
don't consider it that way. They think of it as like, well, only one of us will make it. When the reality is like there was no rule in the experiment that only one of you had to make it, you know?
Yeah.
But instead they kind of like arbitrarily decided like, hey,
This
this
is now a zero-sum game.
exactly. Also, did you know, I don't know if you knew this, the mine carts sometimes have coal in them.
Oh, yeah, I knew
Okay,
that.
good.
I took the coal from that one, sorry, I
Okay,
should have
good.
said.
No, no, no. It looks like we get double coal because I didn't see. I saw it in mine as well. So
Oh,
fancy.
that is cool. So we get double coal?
Yeah,
Oh, that's
if we
awesome.
see a mine cart, it looks like we can both loot it. Handy.
Nice. That is actually, kind of a game changer because coal becomes, like, a really annoying resource after a while.
Yes. Just like Minecraft, actually.
Mm. I've really never played Minecraft.
You should play.
Okay.
We have a
I'd like
server.
to try it. You
It's
have a server?
goofy.
You and the
Yeah.
girls?
Yeah, me and the girls. Sari wanted in on it too. Sorry, I literally just stole that from you. I'm sorry. you were you were like hard at work mining that away, and I just like stole the last hit. Oh, the
And then
bugs.
Z? Oh gosh.
Yeah, this is like the reality of the shows where we start turning on each other.
Yeah. Oh gosh. I'm running out of, energy, which might be a problem.
But yeah, Minecraft is it's a thing. I mean, it can be good. It can also be
Oh. Uh-huh.
kind of boring. I guess it just depends on what you like to do. If you don't
What
like the
aspect of it is boring, if you don't
Well,
mind me
if you're
asking?
playing in like a survival mode,
Uh-huh.
if you want to build big things, you end up needing to just grind like an insane amount of resources, Because you just need
Oh.
like, oh, you need so many blocks of wood or blocks of stone or coal to fire up your stuff. So you do end up like grinding a lot. So if you don't like the grind, but it's not a bad grind. It doesn't like
Yeah, I
feel
was gonna say,
bad.
I kind of don't mind the grind. I feel like I play a lot of games with, ooh, look, the bug
Nice.
created a stairway.
He knew the
That
way.
have a lot of grindy elements to them.
Yeah, it's have you ever played old school RuneScape actually?
Old school RuneScape. No, I actually haven't.
Um if you
What was
like
that like?
if you like grindy games,
Mhm,
you can still play it today. It's like basically just RuneScape.
mhm,
They like went back to they like reverted back to like old servers, and then it kind of like
mhm,
branched off from the original direction of the game took when it was like evolving. But it's a very grindy game, but it's very relaxing in its grind,
mm,
I would say, because you just end up like you literally end up just fighting like crabs, like sand crabs on the beach for like
mhm.
hours. And you can kind of AFK it. You can kind of just like set up your person and be like, okay, fight these crabs. All right, fight some more crabs, and like
Like
it's a
World of
lot of
Warcraft then.
it's kind of like WoW, but less like active. You can do
Okay.
stuff a little bit more chill.
Mhm,
WoW is a little bit harder to do like real AFK farming, I would say.
mhm. Yeah.
Also, Blizzard, ew.
Ew.
Don't want to give those people my money. They took enough of my money and my time.
Mhm.
I'm done with that era of my life.
Done with that era of your life. I feel like so many people I know in their lives had like a WoW era very briefly, or for a very long time. It's
It was very popular, so I feel like
mhm,
it kind of depended on if you had like friends that got you into it. I think that's how a lot of people got into it. Like a friend who'd
mhm,
be like, "Oh, I'm like playing this game. You should play it. It's online. We
yeah.
can play together." And then you end up getting sucked in, and then
Yeah, like any kind of game where you can play with a friend, like, and you can both be in your own rooms. Like, for example, Stardew Valley 1.6. Not
exactly.
that was inspired by this game, but it just makes things so much more enjoyable.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of wish that more game developers would lean into that.
I think it's hard. It's really hard to make MMOs these days, like in general. But I do miss
Mm.
the like I mean, I still paid money every month to Square Enix, even though I like log in
I was
just to
gonna
make sure.
say Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah, I log in, I make sure that my guild still has our house, and then I move on with my life. But like, I find that a lot of devs, it's hard to make an MMO that's like successful because like
Hmm.
it's just like you need a player base and it's got to be fun and it's hard to
Hmm.
keep people doing things. But there is something really nice about like being able to grind out stuff and getting rare stuff and then being able to like show it off in a city. I loved that. I loved the like
Hmm.
casual interactions with people that you didn't
Yeah.
know that you would just like have with strangers. But I don't know
Or
that
like
I.
walking into like a particular city and there's like a crew of people playing music. I was always like astounded by that.
Yeah, exactly. Or like yeah, people like doing funny things like making
Yeah.
weird shapes with their mounts or like I don't know, having a dance party or something. Just
Yeah.
cute. I'm hoping post merger Blizzard is an improvement, but I'm not holding my breath. I don't know, Perky.
Yeah, yeah, I wouldn't. I think like, they're super corporatized already, and then they're like it's Microsoft, is it? That's taking over?
Yes, I think so, yeah.
I don't know. I think they're doomed. They've been doomed. They've been bad for a long time, but they're like doomed.
I think part of the problem too is they just their game's just not fun. I'm just gonna be honest. They just
Yep.
decided that like they want money, so they do a lot of like bait content, you know? They're like,
Huh?
"Look, I've made this thing, isn't it? It's gonna be good, guys." And then everyone buys their $60 expansion and then they're like, "Just kidding, it's awful. We put in all the stuff you guys hate." Gotcha again. And you're like, "Dude,
There's a secret door down here by the spring onions.
oh really?"
Yeah. It says only a master of the 5 ways may enter. So if you get down to the area with the spring onions,
Yeah.
look to the right and you'll see what I mean.
Okay, I'm gonna come down before it gets too dark and I won't be able to see.
Yeah, I'm returning back because I have like pockets full of stuff I'm gonna sell. Just like looking for forage material.
I took all the copper, so if you look in the bin and it's not there, it's in my pocket.
Okay.
Don't worry. We
Okay.
didn't lose it.
Okay, okay.
I think we have enough bars now, though.
Yeah. Do we have enough mud, clay.
No, we have no clay, I don't think.
Okay. When I awaken in the next day, I'm gonna dig up the entire front yard.
That sounds great.
It's gonna look bad, but I think we also just that we care more about the chickens. I think that's really what it comes down to.
Yeah, it's okay.
I'll fix it later.
You can fix it with the pick, I think.
Yeah. You can reverse fill with the pick.
Exactly. Which that shouldn't work, but that's fine.
Let the logic of the game take you away from realities, Raz.
No. I want my games to be more logical. That's why I've been actually enjoying Sakuna so much. The rice farming being extremely real to the point where it's like kind of hard is great. It's very refreshing. I like a game that's like, oh, you didn't know how to grow rice? Well, I guess you didn't grow any rice then. Wow. And I'm like, you know what? I respect that. I like that.
Now your family will starve.
Yeah, now your family will starve. Good luck. Now you have nothing to eat. And I'm like, wow, this is my favorite.
You have like little hard eyes. You're like, oh my goodness.
I know.
This is the best.
It's the historical reality TV show like Brain Rot, you know? You're like, oh yeah, this is my favorite thing. I love when my family
Can I just say though, it
starves.
does get better for the people of the slum house in Victorian slum house.
It does. That is true.
Because I think it's like the 1890s or the 1900s, so they're like 2 or 3 weeks in. They get to fight for their own rights, so they start like papering their neighborhood with like, we should allow costermongers free reign to sell their produce.
Yes.
Do you remember that?
I do remember that. Yeah, they started being like, no, we're changing our stuff here.
Yeah, I think like the British government had decided like we shall no longer allow these ruffians to sell out of barrels on the street.
Yeah.
Like it's like cutting into like a good appearance of the society and also like the profits of the shopkeepers in this area or something. And like it's the only way for these historical reenactor reality TV families to make money is to like, be costermongers and like sell they make and sell jellied eels and like lamb shanks, like lamb feet that they like boil in a bin outside of their house.
I'm shocked that no one got poisoned on that show. The cleanliness was low.
The funny thing is like they go on the street and I'm like, this cannot be real. They go on the street, or if it is real, it is actually very funny and that they did this, but they make modern day people buy from them. And they're like, will you buy my jellied eels for £1?
I wonder what those people thought. Like, did they know? Were they know that it was part of a show, or were they just like, okay?
I think they could tell, like there's people in historical garb and there's like a cameraman and like whatever.
Do you think they thought it was like a skit or something? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, maybe like a skit or something along those lines.
Instead of like a show, maybe they were like, oh, this is like a theater performance or like,
yeah,
I don't know, performance art.
Oh, I found one mud.
Okay.
Clay thing.
How much do we need? 5, was it?
10.
Oh, okay.
It's nightmarish.
We have 6.
Oh, that's good. That's good. That's actually way better. Oh, here's another one.
Nice.
Yeah, because once we get the update on this, then things become like a lot easier.
Yeah,
as far
like
as
once we get the silo, yeah, then we're like golden. It's just like I don't want to have to pay for.
Oh, I got another clay.
Nice.
Can you hear, by the way? My cat is like, she's doing like gymnastics over here, man. She's like meowing. She's doing gymnastics. She just crashed into a filing cabinet.
She wants to be on the stream.
She wants to be where the people are.
She's doing it for the people.
Oh, okay. I put 3 in. How many did you say we?
I have 7. We're perfect.
Perfect.
Okay,
perfect.
Let me run to Robin's. Robin, you better be open on Tuesday. If you're not,
she's not. She's in an exercise class.
Oh my god.
She's at the grocery store and an exercise class. She's wearing jazzercise clothes.
Robin, I'm gonna burn down your house.
Here, I don't know why I'm continuing to like till the soil. I need to not do that. I'm gonna do the other chores. I'm gonna water the plants and the chickens and stuff.
You could yeah, take care of the chickens. You could, well, if you have energy, you could do the reverse till.
I can reverse till.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, yeah, I might give that a shot. It will it will resolve itself on its own. Our cat looks really funny.
Like in what way?
In the game, like its eyes are like, it's got like a really cute face.
Okay, good. I thought you meant like he's looking a little.
No, he's not sick. He's fine.
Okay. He's looking unwell. Okay,
Yeah.
well, Robin, ruining my life. I guess I'll put this stuff away for now.
Hey, issues resolved. Oop. Okay. Yeah, choose, anywhere for the... Where did you choose for the silo to go?
She's literally wasn't there.
Oh, no, that's right, sorry.
I went and I was like thinking about burning down her house, but we don't have matches, so it wasn't an option. Can you imagine?
Yeah,
Can you imagine if this was like Dragon's Dogma or something and you could like kill NPCs permanently? If you just didn't like Pierre, you could get him, but then you wouldn't have access to a general store.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what you do to Joja Mart if you go like the community center route,
That's
right?
true. It's true. You do.
Like, you like destroy Morris's entire life, like his well-being, everything that he worked his way.
I know.
Up to do.
That is true. We kind of do that. You joke, but if I could kill Demetrius to make Robin single, everyone wants to marry Robin.
Who is saying that? Who's trying to marry Robin?
Perky wants to marry Robin and kill Demetrius.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Oh, Perky, they had just followed me too. Thank you, Perky, for following.
So joyful.
Yeah, it's so true. Robin is like one of the better.
She's one of the better characters.
Better characters in town.
I still think that the best marriage candidate though is Krobus, though.
Oh yeah,
because he's just like a roommate.
Yeah, that's the thing. I was gonna ask you actually. Do you want to try and like aim to get Krobus to become like in this game our roommate?
I think we should do that because Krobus is the best. Yeah. I love the Krobus roommates. He's chill.
What does he like? What does Krobus like? What does Krobus like? What do they like?
I feel like Krobus likes. I'll have to look it up, but I thought it was like. Oh, I shouldn't be doing that. I would just like brain rot, almost passed out.
Yeah, don't expend your energy.
Yeah, I was about to. I feel like Krobus likes. I want to say it's like void eggs or void mayo, or maybe also some like stuff from like the higher tier drops in the mines. I might check. Krobus might have an easier gift though too. I don't remember off the top of my head.
Do you think since we're in the Meadowlands, like one thing we should be focusing on is like expanding the chicken coop as quickly as possible? Is that?
I feel like
because I think there's a point where the food gets automated, right? The chicken coop.
Yeah, it does. There are auto feeders. I think we probably want to index pretty hard into livestock in the Meadowlands. Yeah. That's the vibe that I'm getting from the Meadowlands. Not that we have to, but it does seem like it favors that style of gameplay at least.
Is there a good place to put the barn on our lands? Is there like a good spot?
Let's see.
Or do we need to clear some trees for a little bit?
We probably have to clear trees. Let me look though.
I'm trying to forage right now. I was thinking if we have enough wood, I could repair the bridge to that other part of the beach where you can forage for other stuff.
Yeah. The little tide pools.
Yeah, I really like that area actually. I think it's kind of cute.
Yeah. No, it's super cute. I also usually repair the bridge over there. I don't know. I just like the tide pools. I just like the vibe.
Hey, have you checked out the spot behind the Joja Mart?
No. What's behind the
There's
Jojo
like
Mart
a
again?
uh what? Sorry.
I said, what's behind the Jojo Mart again?
There's like a little spot they added.
Oh.
It used to have a bench. It was like where like Evelyn and George would like hang out sometimes.
Yeah.
But now it's a different spot.
Oh. Let me look.
Hmm. There's like a little corral and some stumps. Oh, that's not a way to go. Sometimes like because I've played Stardew Extended, sometimes like I have the map of Stardew
Extended in your
expanded.
brain.
Yeah. And I'm like, there should be another path here that allows me to go this way.
And it's like, nope.
Nope. Nope, nope, nope.
Oh, yeah. Huh. I wonder what this becomes. I did see, I think in the patch notes, they did say there was like a big tree quest thing or like storyline. So I wonder, that kind of almost looks like a place where you would plant a tree.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Is mm.
The big tree I think is the one down by the lake, like behind, like south of our house, west of
I was gonna ask if
Marty's.
it
I think it's that
there's like
one.
two giant trees. There's that like classic pink flower tree,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's like another tree that looks more different. It's like it's got like swirlies on it. Is that the one that you're talking about?
No, this is the classic one, I think. Let me see. Let me
Okay.
remind myself.
Yeah. I need to get like slightly more wood. I need like 3 more wood.
Oof.
I don't have energy.
I don't have
I
energy
probably
or
can energy. I
wood.
think I could probably manage it. I could probably manage it.
I think we have like cookies and Joja Cola and stuff in there
Well,
too.
I also have a horseradish on me that I could eat. I was just like holding off on it. I can't. Let me put this oyster in here. I'll eat this horseradish instead of selling it that I have on me. And I'll just cut this and then I'll use the wood to make the bridge, I guess.
Mm. Yeah, that sounds good. Well,
Okay.
actually, let's see. How much wood do you need? Because we haven't paid for the silo yet.
Oh yeah.
Let's
Does
do.
the silo need wood?
Yeah, it
It
needs
does?
like
Okay.
100 wood, I think.
Okay, never mind. Let me put the wood back. Can I sell these spring onions?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I didn't.
Okay, I put
I
the
put
wood
them in
back
there
there.
randomly, but I think they're fine to
Oh,
sell.
yeah. When I'll put that on my to-do list when we get up. I'll chop trees. Did you want to keep this pine tree that's behind the wooden chest? Does that make a difference? Because I know sometimes like the weeds can grow too much and destroy your property in
Uh,
Stardew Valley. But I didn't know if it was like if it was like just the stones or if it was the trees themselves. And if people know, just please tell me.
yeah, I don't know. We can kill it though if we want to.
Okay. Yeah, I might just kill the ones below just because there's like a huge foresty area and maybe the ones in the grasslands. That way we can save this grassy area for the cows.
Yeah, I think that's good.
Yeah. How much more energy do I have? I could probably do like one more chop. There we go. I'm
We
gonna
could
go to
maybe
bed at 9
put
p.m.
the
Hmm?
we could maybe put the barn like over here to the left and then like
Oh, let
make
me see.
cuz like to the left of the greenhouse but like at the top of this grass area.
Let me come over here and take a look. See. Yeah, this
Also,
is a nice area with a lot of grass, a lot of bluegrass too.
I'm getting a raid. Welcome in, Summer.
Oh, and Mary just resubscribed. Hey, Mary! Yay! We're glad to see you.
Hooray, Mary. Let me see. What were
Welcome
you up to?
everyone that raided Raz's stream. Hello, we're playing
Hello.
Stardew.
Woohoo! Welcome in, Raiders. My name is Rosaldia. Go by Raz for short. I'm a Marionette VTuber. I mainly play farming sims, and this is my friend KiasNassa, who is a snake PNG tuber.
I'm a snake PNG tuber.
Yeah, she's so cute. I'm here too. Yes. Welcome in, Mary. But yeah, we're playing some Dew. I hope you guys had fun playing Stardew too. I hope you're enjoying the update.
Hmm?
We're struggling with the early game, as everyone does.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, so if you just joined us, we chose the new type of farm that you could have for 1.6, which is called Meadowlands Farms. And the deal with Meadowlands Farms is that it's better. You start off with 2 chickens, but you have far less regular farmland.
Yeah.
So like,
it's pretty high.
like usually you would start off with parsnips or something to grow, but you don't get that.
Yeah, it's a slow going. Yeah. We got hay instead of seeds.
Yeah.
So
which is kind of interesting to think about, because it's like we don't even get food for ourselves.
No. Nope. We're indexing into our animals and then like just eating wild horseradish in the forest, I guess.
Yeah. And also thank you, Mary, for saying that. Mary was saying that they were getting a better look at the new profile picture character on your stream, and that's actually the one that you commissioned. Raz was so nice. She like bought me a gift. She really didn't need to do that, but she got me this as a gift.
I saw this artist and they had really cute, like, I don't know, they had this style that just I felt like worked really well with your more like punky vibe. Because I feel like sometimes, I don't know, it's not, I don't mean this in a bad way, but I feel like there's a lot of artists that like go a little too cutesy and it doesn't like mesh super well with certain aesthetics. So I actually like that they were like, they used darker colors. It was a lot more contrast in their work. The like thick lines I think worked well. So it was cute. But thank you for the follow, Summer. If you have to go get food, get a snack, get a drink. I guess food and a snack are the same thing. Rest. Thank you for bringing everybody by. Super appreciate it. But if you have to dash, please don't feel pressured to stay. I'm lurking outside of Robin's house. They're gonna, you know what? We're like lucky that there are not cops in this town, because they would have arrested me for like standing outside of Robin's house, staring into the window, being like, Robin, I need you to build something for me immediately.
Perky said that they love that you're using the Rosaldia Ojo laugh for Raz talking, by the way.
Oh yeah,
it's so good.
I love that emote, so I was like, you know what? This is perfect. Oh, I didn't need the wood. I'm sorry. I baited you, girl.
Oh,
there is no wood in this thing.
Okay. Oh, I'm still cutting trees down, so no worries. If you drop the wood off later, I'll take some of it with me. I'm just clearing out some foresty areas. I'm going to clear out that top corner so that you could probably fit a barn there later.
Where do we want to put our silo? I can fit it in the top corner, like to the left of the box in the chicken's pen, or we could put it somewhere else.
Up to you. I think the thing is, like, you can move everything around. That was one of the changes that they made. Like, you can move every building that you add around early on.
Yeah, so maybe I'll just drop it in there for now, and then we can...
Yeah. Like, as we expand, as we expand, we can, like, rearrange things. Because I think if we're doing Meadowlands, what if we end up having, like, more than one barn or coop?
We might, yeah, that's true.
Like per species or something. Like we have like a barn full of ducks.
Oh, yeah.
Or sorry, a coop full of ducks, a coop full of rabbits, a coop full of
that'd be pretty high.
Chickens. Yeah.
If we get to that point,
other animals? What?
I said if we get to that point, we need to get one of those mods where you get like 1 billion different colors or like type variants, so that when we have like 500 ducks and 500 chickens, they're all just different types.
Mhm.
I don't know if they added. I'm like not up to date with adding animals or what even. I feel like there have been animals or things added that I didn't know were added.
I know they added turtles as a pet.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, turtles are big. People were hype
And you
about
can
the
get more than
turtles.
one pet.
Yes. You have to get our cat up to like max hearts and then we can start getting
Oh,
others, I think.
oh, oh! I can see your
Oh, I'm
cutscene.
sorry. I
No worries, no worries.
I
This
got
is
you
good.
in. Show us the Junimos, sir.
Tell us about this rat problem you have, sir. We'll
Yeah.
resolve it.
Yeah, don't
The
worry about
local
it.
rat catchers.
Yeah, that's what they call us. Exactly. We came from you know what? Maybe this is like
This is the lore.
no, this is like prejudice. Does he ask us here because like he's like, "Oh, you came from the city, like you must know about rats?" Like
Oh yeah,
I wonder
that's
if
definitely it.
I wonder if he's like these people from the city like they must know about rats. Let me show him the place that we think is overrun.
Yeah. Here, let's go inside. Okay. Have you ever done Stardew Valley, a run where you let Joja Corp win?
No, if only I feel like part of me wanted to do it just for like the story side, but it
Yeah.
made me like too depressed. That place is so
Yeah.
ugly. Like if
Hmm.
they had a better aesthetic scheme,
Hmm.
maybe I would do it. But their color scheme sucks. I don't know.
Did he add more animation to the what are they called again? Jamijos?
The Junimos?
Junimos? Cuz mine waved at me. The green guy waved.
I think they've been waving. I don't know how long. I don't know if they've done that from the beginning though.
Yeah. That's cute. Maybe I just didn't notice before.
The poor Junimos were waving at you and you just didn't even
I
notice.
just didn't see. I was like, I'm looking for rats.
I'm on the case, sir.
Yeah. Leave it to me, sir. Do we end up sharing that? Let me see. Yeah.
Oh, me like looking at the.
Yeah. If you look at the gold thing now, I wonder if that means that I get it done on mine, or if I have to go over there.
I would probably come over here and look at it just to be safe, I
Okay.
guess.
Okay.
Because I kind of
Okay.
feel like they might be desynced, but. Because I kind of feel like I had this problem where I didn't look at it and then I didn't get invited
Oh
to
no,
to the wizard's house. And I was like, dang,
the wizard.
the wizard. I wasn't allowed to be in the know.
Oh. Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm gonna take some wood with me. You know what might be a good thing to have? I don't know how you feel about this. Um, I know Robin sells one really useful item called the workbench
Yeah.
that draws from. You've used it before, right?
Maybe in one of my older runs.
Yeah. It you can craft things at the workbench. It'll grab from every chest that's around it. But
Oh,
so that you don't have to like keep opening and closing different chests.
that's smart.
But I think maybe we'll wait to do that until we actually have money.
Well, how much is
Oh,
it expensive?
I think it's, I don't know actually. I'm like saying this as if like it's thousands and thousands of gold or whatever the currency is
Like, it
in
can't be
Pelican Town.
like 30,000 gold, right? Because
Ah, no way.
if it's fairly cheap and we can afford it, that's fine. I don't mind going to zero here. We're just chilling.
Yeah.
We're not min-maxing in this game,
No,
clearly.
no.
So, if we were one of those like min-maxers who's trying to like speed run through and get the community center like super on time,
Mm-hmm.
we're not living that life. So, I
I
say
think
we
we're
can
just,
get it.
yeah, luckily I think we're both like, we'll go wherever the wind blows us, I guess,
Yeah. I
which is
just
good.
I can't be that uptight.
Yeah,
in a game.
same. Because there's
Like,
some people who like really map it out, you know? They're like, day 3, I need to go do this.
yeah. And like, I appreciate that for them, but that's a
Mhm.
lot, you know?
Yeah. Oh
Like,
yeah.
sometimes like I feel like I get enough stress.
Mhm.
Not really from my job. It's more from my coworkers at my job. They get so stressed about stuff that just doesn't need to be stressed about.
Yeah.
That
Yep.
by the time I get to playing games, I'm like, listen, I'm good without that.
Yep. Let's not bring that part of my life into this. That's why you Stardew Valley in real life, you know?
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
You move away from that kind of stress.
Yeah. Yeah, like if I wanted to experience the stress of being a real farmer,
Mhm.
well, first I wouldn't because
Mhm. It's very
uh
hard.
well, they have a high suicide rate, so that doesn't work
Mhm.
out.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
Uh like their mental health not doing great.
Mhm.
Uh so I feel like I don't need to experience that. I can just be the I want to farm like I'm Marie Antoinette. You know where she had that fake farm
Oh, yeah.
at Versailles? She had a fake little farm and she would just like roll up to it.
Mhm.
I mean, I'd be a little bit more involved, but like there's no stakes there. You're just you have some cows, you got some sheep, you pet these animals, they're cute.
Mhm.
You don't stress about needing this for food. That's the best way to go. Cuz the minute
I
that
made it.
go ahead.
Sorry, I made another chest,
Oh,
by the
nice.
way.
But I think the minute
Some
you
more
get like
items.
too stressed about it,
Mhm.
it starts getting too real, you know? Like farming
Yeah.
is a mentally and physically breaking job
Yeah.
in real life. So, I think if you stress too much about your Stardew run, again, if that's what you like to do, if that brings you joy having all the spreadsheets and mapping everything out, making everything perfect, that's great for you, but that would make me wigged.
Yep.
I wouldn't survive.
I'm gonna throw all the marine life and the weaponry into the right side chest. I'm gonna color it blue
Okay.
just so that
Perfect.
we remember that it's full of marine goods.
Marine goods.
And then everything else is in this other miscellaneous chest.
Perfect.
Okay.
But yeah, I feel bad. I see all the people like making their super aesthetic farms on like Twitter and stuff,
Mhm.
and it just stresses me out.
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. I mean I appreciate that they enjoy doing that, but it's like do you ever I don't know how you feel about your real life like gardening
Mhm.
aesthetic. I'm very uh my garden is the wilderness and it's like sink or swim in there. You're a plant, you
Right.
get planted, and you either survive against the weeds or you die. And
Yeah.
I, I don't mind.
That
So,
is very much the approach that I'm taking as well. So this is the first year. So like again, I've Stardew Valley in real life. Like I'm on a farmland, and I recently plowed like the garden. This is the first year I'm not doing like raised beds or like doing things in pots. I'm like trying to grow things in the ground, which I don't know how I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of YouTube that encourages you to do raised beds, but I don't want to buy that much dirt. Um,
yeah, they if you have the land, just plant in the ground
yeah.
is my
Uh,
suggestion.
okay. So I have I started putting things in and I just realized like I'm never gonna like I don't like I didn't till the ground perfectly and there's like random bits of grass here and there and I just don't have the energy to like make it absolutely perfect. It's
Yeah,
like I'm just gonna do my best and this will be it.
yeah. That's um that's my vibe.
Mm-hmm.
I would rather it not be perfect because then I feel pressured to like keep it perfect. That seems like a lot of
Mm-hmm.
stress.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm in the just, hey, throw stuff in the ground. Sometimes it
Mhm.
makes it, sometimes it doesn't. No big deal. Sometimes you get
Yay.
32 pounds of green tomatoes because you planted them too late and then a frost came.
Hmm.
So, then you just make green
Fried green
tomatoes.
tomatoes.
Yeah, you like make fried green tomatoes and green tomato sauce and you live your best life.
Hmm. That's
No
the way.
no stress, no worries.
I feel like you were almost on the verge of saying Hakuna Matata.
I wasn't, but it definitely felt like the lead up to that. It would have
Yeah.
it would have worked at that point.
Uh-huh. Let me. Did we add more chickens?
I think we can, cause like Robin should be done like tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
With the silo. I think it's like a 1 day build.
Yeah. I might stop by Marnie's in a little bit and get the chickens. Oh, Mary just asked, what are you most excited to plant? That is an excellent question, Mary. I love planting tomatoes because I love eating a fresh tomato from the garden that's been warmed by the sun, and I like eating tomato sandwiches. They are so good.
They're very good.
Yeah. What about you? What about you, Raz? What are you most excited for?
I love to grow pumpkins. They're like my absolute favorite thing in the whole world to plant and grow.
Oh my gosh. I've never grown a pumpkin before. What is it like? I've always heard like they like to cross with other vegetables.
Yeah, I let them, they take up a whole huge portion of my garden, so I keep them away from a lot of other stuff.
Mm, 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 mm.
And I don't tend to plant things that are like similar. Like I don't plant summer squash or anything.
Mm, mm, mm.
I'm only planting, I plant like um pumpkins, some like I plant some butternut squash and acorn squash, and I also plant kabocha. And if they
Mhm.
cross, I'm not like too upset about it.
Yeah.
Um
And
so
kabocha
that's
is like the Japanese pumpkin,
Yeah,
right?
they're like a little starchier, I would say. They
Yeah.
have like an interesting texture, but they're really
Is
good.
it like a green skin and then like the flesh is
Bright
orange still?
orange, yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. So I plant those, and Mary says, "What do you do with the pumpkins?" Oh, we eat them.
Mhm.
We eat the pumpkins. We used to have a lot of family members that had dogs that had pumpkin
My
as part of
dogs
their
love
diet.
pumpkin.
Yeah, so we would give a lot of them away sometimes. Um, and a couple years we gave people a bunch of pumpkins for like Halloween or whatever, but we eat all of them, turn them into pies or bake them into, I don't know. I make veggie bakes, so I just like chop up a bunch of root
Mm.
veg and pumpkin and like roast it, and then I usually just put a poached egg on top of it, and that's my lunch. Because I can just,
I usually use pumpkin in curries. Like I'll put it in a curry or
it's
like I'll bake
great.
it in the oven.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
great for all that. So, any of that stuff. I like pumpkin pretty much any way that you could think to eat
Mm-mm.
it.
Do you plant it in spring or do you plant it later?
I plant it in spring, but I never like seed start it because they just don't
Mhm.
transplant out super well.
So it's like direct to soil. Are they kind of like watermelons where they take like over 100 days?
They take a super long time. Yeah.
Oh.
So you plant them out in like the first thing in spring pretty much,
Mhm.
and they
Mhm.
take pretty much till the end of the season
Oh
to
wow.
to be done. And it depends on the variety. Some are like smaller, like the Jack be little pumpkins, which are like the little tiny ones that people often keep as like ornamental pumpkins. One, you can eat those, but two,
You eat those?
yeah, yeah, you can eat any pumpkin, any squash that people say is ornamental. You can pretty much eat all of them. Some of them you need to like
Mm.
cook in certain ways, but yeah, you can eat those. So those ones grow a little bit faster because they're so small, but like watermelons, like a full-size pumpkin is like hefty. So they take over your garden, and they don't have deep roots, really. They kind of just
Oh,
rest on the soil, and they send little roots down like every couple feet or whatever. But they
yeah.
really like they'll take over like a huge patch. So you have to like give them a lot of space. And they'll shade out anything below them, so you gotta plan ahead for their inevitable takeover, but they do love vining. So
Mm.
if you have like a fence around your garden, they'll grow up the fence, which can be nice, and then the pumpkins like
Yeah.
hang there.
Do you have to like put like because I've seen people do that with watermelon and they like have to put like pantyhose or like a bag like
I
to help hold the large heavy like fruit up.
Yeah, if you're planting varieties that get like pretty big, like there's a New England sugar pie pumpkin, which are
Mhm.
fairly small actually, and those ones are like medium. I don't know that you need to really hold those up, but anything larger than that, I would suggest like even just a rope or something, something to take
Mhm.
the weight off of the vine, because eventually they'll just split the top
Yeah,
before they're
yeah.
fully ripe, and then you're kind of then they're not much
Your
use.
your efforts have been for naught because it took
Yeah.
so long to grow that. I'm buying chickens right now. I think they're only 800 gold a piece.
Oh,
What should the names of the chickens be? Do you want to come up with one and I'll come up with other?
well, let's name one. Let's name one.
Hmm.
What do we name our cat?
We named the cat Tuba.
Oh,
We could
Tuba.
name one of these chickens Obo
Yeah, I was gonna
because one
say,
of them's Piccolo. What?
I said oboe seems like a good one.
Yeah.
Maybe oboe. Maybe we need, okay, so if we're gonna do, so
Mhm.
piccolo is a woodwind instrument.
Yeah.
I feel like viola needs a friend, so maybe we do cello,
Yeah. Oboe and cello.
oboe and cello, so they each have, a
Mm.
buddy in their
Oh
team.
no. Okay, I only could buy one because it's 410 and she stopped working.
Marnie, girl. That's fine. Classic Marnie move where she's like, all right,
All
I'm done
right.
for the day.
But
She
like
is,
Marty doesn't she only works like 3 days of the week or
dude,
something. It's like really hard to get her
she's
to do
hard
stuff.
to get, yes.
Yeah.
There's almost no other farming sim where it is so hard to buy livestock.
Really? Oh
You,
yeah, that makes sense.
usually the livestock dealer loves to sell you livestock.
Yeah.
They're like pining for you to come visit them, but Marnie is like, I don't need your business.
She's too concerned with her torrid affair with the mayor.
I know, well that's why. She doesn't need her business to succeed. She's probably getting like tax breaks and stuff.
Guess what I just found in the dirt?
What'd you find?
Elvish jewelry.
What?
Yeah, it looks cool as heck. It's like a giant I don't know if this is supposed to be like a necklace or like a
That
some
sounds
sort of
rad.
yeah, it's like a big thing.
I'm gonna super quick. Pickles is about to commit
Mhm.
mutiny because I haven't fed her yet. So I'm gonna
Yeah.
sit in bed and then AFK for a second. I'll put myself
Yeah.
on mute so she can be fed because she's gonna start unplugging cords or something.
All right. I will babysit both of our chats and tell more stories of Victorian slum house and
Perfect.
historical things that I've learned.
Perfect. All right, I'll be back in
Yeah.
a sec.
Yeah. Hello Raz's chat if you're hanging out uh while Raz is doing her thing, feeding Pickles the cat. Um so Raz and I originally came up with this idea that we needed to talk about these shows that we're obsessed with. Um, because again, it's like I in real life, I know so few people who've actually ever seen one of these historical reenactment reality television shows. Have any of you actually watched any of these shows before? Do you know what Raz and I are talking about when we discuss this? Because I feel like it's like a really specific thing, but if you've ever watched one of these shows, like you know what this is. And you also obsess over it. I can't find Robin. I have her axe. Where does she go at 7:40 p.m. on Thursday? Why isn't she home with her husband and child? Um, having dinner. Maybe if I just hang out in their kitchen, she'll come out. Sort of. I watched one, but it was kind of a combination documentary teaching thing. Yeah, that's often the case with these shows, Perky. Um, but so I talked about Victorian Slum House a little, but we both wanted to like talk about these shows because I think it's kind of rare. And maybe one day, like, we can describe more of these. Like, I wanna rewatch some of them because, like, you've probably heard over the past couple I guess it's already been, like, 2 hours. The past couple of hours, like, we remember bits and pieces of each other's shows because 'cause we've watched them, but it's been a while, and I kinda wanna rewatch them just to see what they're like. Sebastian's in here. Where is Robin? Why isn't she at home? Where is she? Is she already in bed? She's not in bed. She's not in bed. Where's Robin? I need to give her this axe. I don't want to leave her house because I don't think I can come back into the house when I'm done. Is she not in the room with you? I'm not good enough friends with you or Demetrius to go in there. Where are you, Robin? Where are you? Where do you go at 9:30 p.m.? If I hang out in front of your house, will I encounter you? I'm just gonna hang out here and cut down these trees. Surely she's gonna come home at some point. Mystery. Yeah, so we were talking about these shows. I was shocked because Raz told me about Victorian Slum House. I had never heard of it. I'd never seen a bit of it, so it's entirely new to me. You can get it on YouTube pretty easily if you want to check it out. But yeah, it's pretty interesting. I'm surprised that they were able to make it because there's like I don't know. Again, like there's casual cruelty in the show in a way that like I'm surprised the people allowed it and like let it kind of continue going on, or there's not like more commentary about that or like discussion of it in extra like director's cut material or something, because I feel like it needs to be discussed.
What are we talking
Like they get
about?
like okay, so in Victorian Slum House, we've talked about some of the problematic elements of the
Yeah.
show.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised that they didn't have, because like I think I remember in Frontier House like they would have like a director's cut section where they would like talk about like some of the things that happened and like how people felt about it.
Yeah.
But they don't do that with this show. It's like very tightly edited.
They don't have any diary segments or
They
like
do have diary segments, but I feel like they don't discuss it beyond like that was messed up. I feel bad about that.
Yeah.
Like they don't like, like put it more into context or like talk about the
Yeah.
situation more fully. In a way that some of the other shows like they do, like there's like a producer or someone who like walks through the situation and like they have a breakdown group discussion about it.
I think part of it is I almost feel like with Victorian Slum House, because they had like the cast was rotating, like people would come and go at various points, and because they were so frenetic trying to make them like change decades every week, I wonder if that was part of it. Because for some of these shows,
They
you
just
could
didn't have
tell.
enough time.
Yeah, like for some of these shows, I feel like the reason that people were really like introspective and would give context is because they spent so much time just thinking about these things.
Yeah.
And I don't think, did Victorian Slum House do a segment after they had been home, like they went back to their regular lives?
I haven't seen it yet. I haven't finished the last episode.
Oh, okay.
I'm like almost done with that episode.
Because I wonder if they do that, because it's so interesting. In 1900 House, they did like, I think it was like they interviewed them a week after they had been out. But I want to say, I think Frontier House, I think they interviewed people like a month later or something, or 2 months later. It was like some amount of time that they had definitely gotten like more time to like really internalize like what they had experienced. And it kind of made it more interesting because I feel like it's in those moments where it's like, wow, that was really messed up that these people like treated me so poorly. They could like be outside the situation and like talk through it a little bit more. But I wonder if Slum House, I don't remember if Slum House even had that, or if they were just like, okay, bye.
I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it yet. Like I feel like I would have seen it in YouTube recommended or something.
Right. Like you would have noticed, or like, yeah. So weird. Because I feel like that would have been so valuable. To be like, oh, what do you guys think? How did you feel, really?
Working my way downtown. Okay, I think if we're thinking about building a barn, right? Yeah, I guess I'll look into the resources later. I have to do this return Robin's axe to her mission. Did you get that too, or do we get each? Do we get each other's things, or do we not?
I think we do. I'm not sure if, though. Like, feel free to just like go ahead and return it. And if I need
Mhm.
to do it, I mean, I know where it is, so I'll just
Yeah,
walk
yeah.
down there eventually. It's hard to tell what things are like linked and what things are
Mhm.
like do it yourself.
Yeah. Wish there was a way that he could have, like Concerned Ape could have indicated that for co-op, because he does seem very invested in making sure that the co-op experience is like a good one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I wonder if it's one of those things that people kind of like they like forget, you know?
Mhm.
Where it's like if you've done it too many times, you're like, "Oh, of course I know which thing is which." And it gets like lost easily.
Yeah. Ooh, you're doing the bundle. I can see that. You put the daffodil in.
I did, yeah.
What else do we need? Like a leek and a horseradish and a
Leek,
third thing.
it's leek, dandelion, and spring onion.
Hmm. Spring onion.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a spring onion on me. I can bring it up there.
Oh, nice.
Name your new leek, horseradish. Spring onion. Are you sure it's not daffodil, dandelion?
It's daffodil, leek, dandelion, and spring onion.
Okay, okay. And then cello was the name of the other
Yeah.
chicken that
The
we
new
wanted.
chicken. Yeah, the one that Marnie was like, I will not sell you this. It's
Literally, I was in the middle of buying the first of the first new chicken, and like I just got the name in, and then I see that she's in her kitchen. Like the next thing I see is like she's in her kitchen, she's not at the counter.
you're like, cool, cool. Thanks, Marnie.
Okay. Okay. Thanks, morning.
Thanks for all your help, girl. Marnie Wilden. I feel like that's why Marnie has a reputation for being like hated by a bunch of people. Because she's just like hard to get.
Where are you? Well, I mean, you can usually find her like in the saloon at night or something.
Yeah, I think in like just like at work. She's just never at work.
Oh, you know what? I think my community center, I didn't activate the pantry thing or something. So I can't put anything in there right now.
Oh,
I'll put my spring onion in the chest though, so you
okay.
can get it later.
Yeah, I'll go grab that.
Interesting, interesting. So I guess I'll get my wizard letter to join Hogwarts like later today, I guess, ago or tomorrow.
Yeah, yeah, probably tomorrow to do it. Do you want to
Right here.
do tomorrow's I think the egg festival. Do we want to do the egg festival and then maybe end after that? Does that sound
Yeah,
sane?
I think that sounds good because you've had a long day. You've streamed twice today.
I did stream twice today, but one was only an hour long, so it's not
Yeah.
that one's not that bad.
Oh, we got a reward.
Oh, what'd you get?
9 cauliflower seeds. Nice.
Whoa, that's so generous.
I know, living big.
What the heck? Expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Worth its weight in gold.
Do you know if you get if you do the if you get separate rewards, like if you went to the museum, would you also get, like, we share the items that we have to bring to the museum because I see that you put things there,
Yeah.
but maybe we get like doubles of the prizes.
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, I'll go over there and talk to that man.
Yeah.
See what he says. See if he'll give it to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's some ways in which the co-op is busted.
I think that's why, like, because one of the early settings that you can kind of adjust is also like how much money, like how much do you want to get back.
Yeah.
And I think that's like one of the ways that you can, like, balance the game a little bit more. Okay. So if we want to get the big coop, that, not that we're going to remember this later, but the big coop costs 10,000 gold. It's 400 wood and 150 stone. And then if you want the barn, it's 6,000 gold, 350 wood, 150 stone. So when I go by our house later, our cabins later, I'll go look and see how much wood and stone we have on hand.
Yeah.
6,000 gold. We could probably make that. It's
6K,
gonna take
yeah,
time.
10K might take a little bit more time. Also, I did get the cauliflower seeds, so we do
Ooh,
get double rewards.
very nice.
Pretty hype.
Yeah.
Pickles is like binging her food to the point where she's like choking on it for some reason. Sometimes she
Uh-huh.
eats like a normal, sane pace,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes she just is kind of a monster and decides to just go absolutely ham. And it's like, girl, please slow down. You're going to like choke to death. She just doesn't want to be contained.
So I guess whenever we get like packs of 9, we just do like a new square, and then we fill in the
Yeah.
other parts.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Do you like having that one space between the little squares, the 3x3s?
I feel like it
Or do you
makes
want to?
walking between the, so it depends on what we're planting, I guess, but
Yeah.
I don't care either way. We could do a pattern, we could not do a pattern. We could be chaos gardeners if we wanted.
Yeah. I guess we'll see. It's still 4:40. I still have energy, so I might go and let's see. How much wood do we have?
I'm gonna chop these trees in the meadow that we were
Oh
talking
yeah,
about.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, we have 240 stone, so we're all set for stone, and we have 300 wood, so we need to get at least 50 more wood. So I think chopping wood right now is actually a really good idea. I'll work on chopping wood in a different part of the meadow as well.
I'm gonna leave. There's 3 trees in like a little wooded space. I'm gonna leave
Oh
like
yeah.
a little like grove. I feel like that looks nice, so they can stay. But everybody else will have to go. Imagine if you could get struck by lightning while using like an axe, and it would just instantly knock you out, and then you would have to pay like Harvey's fine and stuff.
Hmm. You know, I actually know someone who got struck by lightning twice.
In real life.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Like one time they were an older member of the family, and they had decided that they were going to go on the roof and like put a tarp over the fireplace when it was like not working correctly.
Uh-huh.
That's the first time. And then the second time I think they were like adjusting a television antenna outside
That's
during a rainstorm.
It's weird, but I feel like I wonder what the percentage is of people who get struck by lightning once,
Hmm.
survive it, and then are struck again. Because I feel like
Yeah.
that's not the first time I've heard of someone
Yeah.
having that happen to them, which
They
is,
say that you're more likely to get struck a second time, but I wonder if that's just because like the kind of person who is like willing to go out in a lightning storm to do that, you know, like
like, would do it again.
they wouldn't learn the lesson of the
Yeah.
first time.
Yeah.
They just keep going.
The wildest to me are like, there's a subreddit that's like all about people doing dangerous things, but they don't know it's dangerous. And
Mhm.
it's people like taking pictures. It's usually people taking pictures of like animals that are really poisonous that they're just like
Yeah.
handling. Um,
Oh, I was thinking of like people in Yosemite or something, like trying to take pictures of
well,
buffalo or bison.
there's that stuff too. So it's always like it's like people like taking a photo, and
Mhm.
it turns out it's like some activity that it's like you're lucky that you're alive, but you don't know it. Like obviously you're just posting it because you think like, oh, look at this cool photo that I got. And there are some of people like they've been like mountain climbing or like hiking, really, not like hand over hand climbing.
Mm.
And they, because once you get above the ridge line, there's no more trees. So if you get caught
Yeah.
up there during a storm, you're kind of the high point.
Mhm.
And there's pictures of people like being like, oh, look, our hair is standing on end.
Oh
And
no.
you're like, that is like, that's the time, bro. The lightning is like imminent at that point.
Yeah.
And they're just like posing, vibing, being like, isn't this funny? And you're like, you are lucky
Mhm.
that you did not perish. I do think it's probably a bias of the kinds of people that maybe put themselves in situations where they could get struck by lightning might do that again, or work jobs where they're just likely to have that happen to them. Like, I guess if you're like a park ranger or something, maybe you're a higher likelihood of being like stuck out in the woods in a thunderstorm or something.
You know, I kind of like the way the trees look on the green grass. Maybe like for our farm, do we want to go with like leaving the trees on the like green grass?
Yeah.
And any tree in the meadows or on like the brown dirt, we just freely cut down.
That's what I'm feeling. Because I kind of think they look cute on their little their little grass plots. But yeah,
I agree.
Anyone else and any other tree gets cold.
Yeah. Others, goodbye.
Exactly. I can't believe you had a family member that got struck by lightning twice and survived.
Twice, I know. Yeah.
That's wild. Did they describe what it felt like aside from just being shocked? Bad? And probably having
actually no, this person is very terse. They very parsimonious with words, you know, like they don't describe a lot of things.
Yeah. They're not verbose. Let's put it that way. Not gonna wax poetic about the experience, I guess.
Yeah, the person who decided I'm gonna go up onto the roof to adjust the television antenna in a lightning storm.
Yeah,
you know?
like maybe
they're a person of few words. But yeah, I just got the wizard letter. And today's the
egg festival.
Hunt. So we're gonna do the egg hunt and then that'll be it.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me go in here. Ooh, let me go get some more feed for the chickens.
Oh, I didn't.
Should we just leave the door to the run open the whole time? Because I think nothing gets in, but I think the chickens will automatically step outside in the morning.
I think so. I didn't know if there was a change. I'll have to check the change log. I don't know if he changed something so that there is some added benefit if you close it at night, but I'm not sure. I will check though before our next session. Oh my god, I'm out of water for our cat.
Tragic. Oh, I got it. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna work on cutting down some trees back. I don't know, these trees are nice. Nice back here. I just cut down the one behind our chest because I was afraid it was gonna get
I'm doing a little haying.
Okay.
I'm just gonna make a little.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
A little ring around our pond. I think the blue grass gives more hay.
It does?
It kind of cool. Well, I don't know. It kind of seemed like it did, but maybe I made that up. I had like one or two of them and a bunch came out, but
what if we turned the whole field into blue?
I would love that. That's what I feel like. I don't know how can we buy like blue hay seeds?
Let's look. But for now, let's just try and cut the green versus the blue hay.
Yeah.
When we're cutting hay. And maybe that'll like make enough room for the blue hay to spread a bit more.
Yeah, true. Okay.
Because that would be really pretty, I think.
I agree. And it's like the better one, you know? It seems like it's almost like alfalfa hay or something, so.
Oh, egg festival time.
It's time.
Do you want to work a little bit more for a while, or do you want to go straight to the egg festival?
No, we could work a little bit more. What time does it end?
Like, what time is at 2 p.m. So I'm just gonna spend a little bit more time like using up my energy for the day, cutting down these trees.
I'm like culling all of this green grass right now. Please let our bluegrass grow.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess if we have enough time, I just cut some trees down here in the middle area. I'm gonna like drop off the wood and then maybe talk to the wizard.
Yeah.
Actually, no. That's a really long cutscene.
That is kind of a long cutscene, yeah.
I'll save that for next time.
It would be fine if it would pause, but because
It does
it's
not
two
pause.
of us, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Your time is...
Both of our time is valuable. It's important.
It's true. True.
Important.
That's true.
Okay. Over here. Are you heading over to the egg place?
Yeah, I'll head over there now.
Okay.
Do 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 do.
Look for any forage up here. Dandelion. I guess since we have separate community centers, I'll just hold on to this dandelion then.
Yeah. That works.
And it was dandelion, spring onion, horseradish. Ooh. Oh, should we buy strawberry seeds?
I don't know if it's worth it in spring one just because of the... They're
True.
pretty long, and it's already like the 13th or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Poor Lewis. I really do love Lewis.
If you like don't talk to one of the people in town during one of these town events, do they hate you more?
I don't think so.
They were like the only person that you didn't talk to.
No, I don't think this has any... It just like gives you an easy way to talk to everybody at once, but I don't think there's any negative for like not talking to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
One person on like Reddit or something, or like maybe it's Twitter, said that they literally didn't talk to everyone for like a full year. So, and they were like playing the game.
Were there any repercussions for that?
No, they just like didn't advance their relationships. There wasn't any like negative.
Okay, I think I got everyone. Actually, I've missed this trio of teens. Actually, are Sebastian and Sam teens, or are they just like people in their early 20s?
I think they must be in their early 20s, or they should be if they're like marriage candidates for us, I feel like.
Mayor? I can't talk to the
it might
mayor.
be me that has to as the host. Yeah. You ready?
Yeah. Yep. I'm ready to hunt eggs.
Do you want to go the like lower right route, and I'll go the left side? Oh my god, Pickles.
Yeah.
You almost...
Yeah, I'll take the right side, you take the left side to start.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds good. Time for the highlight of today's festivities.
Annual spring egg hunt.
Okay. I'm so excited. I'm so pumped.
We're all hype.
I'm hyped. I'm pretty ready.
We're all ready, Mare. We've been ready. We told you that at the beginning, actually.
Okay, egg hunt begins. Run! Run!
Oh my god.
I think they may have changed the egg locations.
I'm inting.
No. You got this. You got this. You got this. Believe in yourself. Believe in the me that believes in... Wait. Believe in the you. Wait. I don't remember how it goes. Hold on. We got this. We got this.
We got this.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know. Did Abigail win? Look at all these eggs.
Wow, look at all these eggs.
Wow. He's like
Wow.
an avocado. Wow.
Wow. So I'm trying to do the voice. Now that winner of this year's egg hunt.
Oh, you won!
Yes! Oh, I won!
You did it! You did
Here's
it!
your prize. Enjoy. Thank you.
The
It's a straw hat. I'm gonna put that right on.
Put that on.
Put my hat on.
Hell yeah.
Oh.
As long as Abigail doesn't win, I'm happy.
Yeah. Let me put my hat on. Oh. And this is also the last thing we're gonna do for today.
Yeah.
But maybe we could do this again sometime.
Yeah. It was fun.
Yeah.
We can watch more of our silly shows.
Yeah, we'll chat. We'll figure it out off stream, like when
Yeah.
we can next do this. But this was a lot of fun. I love doing this.
Yeah, it was
Figures the
good.
snake would be an egg hunting champion. That's true. That is true. I have an advantage because of my species.
It's true. Snakes do love eggs.
I do love eggs. I do eat a lot of eggs. Okay. Shall we wrap up then?
Yeah, I think that's good. I think we just go ahead and exit to desktop,
Discord.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll go ahead and disconnect.
Well. Nice. Well, thanks for joining me today, guys. Thanks for hanging out. I hope you had a nice time. Oh my god, Pickles is wild. Girl is gone wild. Hey again, Raz. Hello, Eprac. Welcome in. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for streaming. Thanks for stopping by. I'm sorry that chat, it's always tough to like chat too much when you're doing a collab because, you know, you're like chatting with someone else. But hope you guys had fun watching us do some exploring in Stardew. And you guys should definitely, if you haven't already, you should definitely go check out Kias. She is lovely. She does a lot of variety, but she does mahjong. She's been playing Power World. She also has been streaming some other like farming sims and similar things. So if you are not following Kias, you should definitely give her a follow because she's lovely. And we'll probably have to do this again sometime, but thank you guys so much for joining me today. Stream over, all good. I'll have to catch next time. Yeah, all good. So, a couple quick things before we go. To start off, this is going to be our schedule for the rest of the week. So, we're going to be back tomorrow playing Doraemon Story of Seasons Friends of the Great Kingdom. And then we are going to be back on Sunday doing some Bunny Park in celebration of Easter, so that should be lots of fun. Bunny Park is by the same creator as Lemon Cake and the Ranch of Rivershine, which we've played both of on the channel and have had lots of fun with. Also, one more thing I do want to shout out. The girls and I are having a Hanami event, so if you are at all interested, you are welcome to join our Discord. I have a Discord with two other cozy streamers, Ziansu and Lemon Remy, and we're going to be doing a little bit of a Discord Hanami event where we're going to be hanging out in a voice channel, and we're also going to be screen sharing our Minecraft server. We're going to set up a little Hanami spot under some new cherry blossom trees, and yeah, just like bring a drink, bring a snack, get ready to have some cozy conversation. Even if it's not looking super springy where you're at, you can still enjoy the scenery. So that will be next week on Friday the 5th, and that'll be starting around 8 p.m. Central European Summer Time or 2 p.m. Eastern Time, and it'll be running all the way until like 3:30 Central European Summer Time and like 9:30 Eastern Time. So lots of time there, so if you'd like to check it out, you are more than welcome to. Let me take a quick look and see if anyone that we know is around doing anything fun that maybe we can go visit them for. So let me take a quick look, see what's happening. What do I see? We have got, let's see, anyone doing anything cozy is really the key. There's plenty of people on, but it's a question of, does it seem chill? Does it seem comfy? Let me go take a look at Verdant really fast. Let me just make sure that my desktop audio is off so y'all don't hear anything wild. I see that Paladin Verdant is also doing a collab, it looks like. Let me see who with, how long they've been going. They're playing Don't Starve Together. And I think Verdant's pretty good at Don't Starve Together. I've been meaning to learn how to farm in that game. So yeah, let's go say hi to Verdant, but thank you guys so much for joining me. For the YouTube friends, you guys are gonna just get a bit of a stream ending screen because I don't have a redirect set up, but thanks for joining me today. Thanks for hanging out with Kias and I as we talked about our fun historical reality TV shows, checked out the new Stardew, saw what was up, what was new, what was fresh, and yeah, let me get this raid started, but otherwise, I hope you guys have an excellent rest of your morning, afternoon, or evening, and hopefully I get to see you guys again very, very soon.